Hello, everyone. How is existence going for the lovely people, creatures, and everything in between who occupy the room that is my chat? How is the existence going for everyone here? I'm trying to remember. Hold on. I would do that. That would do. Yeah, that. Okay. Sorry, I had to remember where my visual novel reading keybind was. Everyone do good. Everyone have a fun time. So, okay, music. Thank you for going hard there. It's been a while since I've done... Actually, how long has it been since I've done just a visual novel reading? Last time I think I did it would have been Snow White Ashes? I still need... Oh god, I still need to grab... still need to check on Anendesis over there. Going tiredly, spent an hour writing your script. Oh god, imagine writing scripts. Sorry, okay. Mild tangent. Good background music. Well, Ming Dynasty China is the whole setting of this, but okay. Skyrock, I have a little thing. So I have two videos on this channel that come across as scripted. The two about my balanced opinions on Dead by Daylight's Pig. I genuinely got a compliment on the second one saying, oh, funny scripted video, good informative, a lot more open, funny scripted video, and I looked at that and had to say, oh, you thought that was scripted? No, I just talked until I had all the voice clips I needed, and then I stitched it together. I'm gonna tell you, that absolutely does not lead to frustration and taking way too long to do anything. There's actually, I want to go over that video at one point because there is one line where I sound annoyed and or venomous, and I'm just like, it was not intended to come off that way. I was just annoyed at myself because I needed to re-record lines. But, yeah, that little side tangent aside, say something to you. I mean, do I need to say anything or do I need to do anything? Okay, but yeah, I think the last time, I do want to check actually on the channel history, the last time I think I did a visual novel was Snow White Ashes, which, certain levels of awkwardness of the scenes I was reading aside, due to the fact that one of the characters had my name, was enjoyable. Yeah, it was like, gonna be a, there's that, there was the visual novel in the one of the random game streams, the, Unfragment, that one, that was an experience. But yeah, it has been 2.5 months since I have done any type of visual novel thing, and I have meant to do this one a while ago. It just kept getting pushed back for one reason or another. I also realized I need to switch to a live chat. Can't talk properly. Funny. I mean, look, my brain has some ideas. It's just a matter of, if you want an idea, even if you don't, care much for the game, if you want an example of how I attempt to do scripted sounding stuff without a script, watch the second video covering Dead by Daylight's Pig, because that is an idea of how that stuff is. But yeah, I have a vague idea of how this game, of what this game is, but we will see how this goes. The Young Prologue. Wolf, I couldn't read that quick enough. I often ponder why my father named me Liang. Oh, I'm doing well. How do I need to hold on? There. So I'm out of the way as the text as I can be. Liang meaning virtuous. The character Sean resembles an open-mouthed sheep. As I gaze at it, I can almost hear a sheep's gentle bleating. Perhaps if one is gentle as a sheep, Liang suits them. Also, God, I'm gonna butcher pronunciations on names, I'm just now realizing. But I don't see myself as a sheep. I'm a wolf. Liang? Guiding him home? A rough inquiry echoed from nearby. I glanced sideways, observing a man approaching. He trod on twigs and fallen leaves, steps askew. Sunlight streamed through the cracks in the woods, dappling everything. Yet he adeptly hid himself in the shadows. I sized him up. Adorned in a straw hat, clad in a raincoat, and holding a gourd, he seemed more a fisherman than a menacing figure at first glance. Okay, hold on, is there? Nope. Where? No. I had a different key. That one, no. Was there a... Give me one moment. I need to position myself best so that I'm not obscuring anything. That's not the one. This would be the one. Nope, not that one. I need to open settings. Settings. Don't mind me. I need to check where I, I need to, hold on. Ignore, oh god, yeah, that is. Okay, so if I go, boink, here, and then scooch a little bit. Scooch another little bit. Okay. There we go. Yeah, okay, so I'm still here. I'm still here. I am now just also out of the way of the text. I may have to manually adjust this other times. Don't mind this. I just had to, I want to make sure while I'm reading this, people can still read this, but... His appearance made it easy to let one's guard down, so usually he was tasked with leading the sheep here, and then I'd handle the rest. This fellow was another wolf accompanying me. His name was Shi Jing. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Jing. Yeah, that should be, yeah, Shi Jing. But I prefer to call him Tongue. Hey. Hey, why the silence? Is he done? Wait, what? Sorry, that was the first time I've ever seen this happen. I had no internet connection issues, but for some reason my chat disconnected. I don't know what happened there. Either way. All set. I'll try it. Yeah. All set. Seized the moment when the sheep wasn't vigilant. Gave him a quick stab. Okay, I'm willing to bet not all the translation is perfect. That's like some of this feels a little clunky, I think. Where have you disposed of him? Buried. Did you bury him properly? We're not far from the city. Make sure no wild beasts dig it up. Buried him tight. No worries. Alright, what was on him? 5 silver pieces, over 200 coins, ragged clothes, and a pouch. I get 4 pieces, you get the ragged clothes, and the pouch is mine. Don't know why. 凭啥? Why? This time only one sheep. I killed and buried him, so I should get more. Alright. How much in the pouch? Not much, just regular stuff. Let me take a look. Tongue wanted to take a look at the pouch. Google Translate and use it to speak Chinese. I have, please do not, as I have updated the chat rules to say keep chat in English. If you chat in non-English, you will officially be breaking chat rules because just for moderation purposes, do not do that. Otherwise, I will set the disciplinary moderator on you. I reached into my waist pouch and pulled this item for Tongue to see. The pouch was small, easily held in one hand. By common belief, a sheep's pouch might contain a handkerchief or some papers, but it was empty. Talking in Spanish, I mean... The pouch was red, sewn together with patches, yet looked new, adorned with the pale character on top. I mean, technically, if you want to see me speaking German every single time I played Lobotomy Corporation and referred to Schadenfreude. I chuckled softly. How did the pouch end up with this embroidered character? Did the sheep's name contain An? The Chinese character An means safety. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Before you went to Google Translate. You would have gotten a warning at first, because it is first stream there. Or was it his wish for the pouch to guarantee safety? But yeah, brief little side tangent. Because I am currently the only moderator, like, if I get moderators who can speak other languages, like, for example, like, then it can expand to that, and as we just would have people who can speak that, but, you know, just so that I know for a fact that no one's committing hate crimes. If it's the latter, the pouch surely failed to fulfill his hope.
妈的，确实是破东西，卖不了几个钱，你自个儿收着吧。
Damn, this is really a piece of junk not worth selling. Keep it for yourself.
真不知道你为啥稀罕这些羊毛啊？每宰一只羊都得留点羊毛，小心哪天留了痕迹，把你给害死。
It's like, I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit. I don't get why you're into the sheep's wool. Leaving some every time you butcher a sheep. Watch out, one day leaving traces might get you killed. No big deal. I give the pouch a squeeze and toss it into my waist pouch.
好，趁着天没黑，咱快去华州搞点酒肉。
Pouchception, pouch inside of pouch. Let's go. Well, it's still daylight. We should grab some food and drinks in Haozo. Or Huazo. Okay, I'm trying my best to pronounce this stuff. Tongue patted my shoulder, taking the lead.
梁，这次你分的东西多，可得你请啊。
Liang, since you got the bigger share this time, it's your treat. Okay. Talking? Wait, what? I casually replied to Tongue, pressing my hand on my hat and bringing it down. Following Tongue. It's so weird to be referring to a person as Tongue. Following Tongue, I strolled each step, accompanied by the crunch of leaves underfoot. It's okay not to pay much attention to these sounds, but if you did, they become quite loud. Yes! It's like that whole thing of you don't notice the ticking of a clock in the room but once you do, you can't stop hearing it. It's like the bird chirps and monkey calls have disappeared, and the whole forest was now echoing with the crunch of crushed leaves. 2 wolves. We tread across desolate mountains and wild ridges step by step. ... Upon passing a tree with a sturdy twisted trunk, I couldn't help but glance a few more times. I knew. Beneath that tree lied the sheep I slaughtered. Liang, Chapter 1, Cat, the year of the... Okay, what year was that again? Oh, blinding! The sun hung high, almost blinding. No, that was blinding, it was just a very big flash. Victor... That's... Yeah, no, it's very clearly a metaphor for person they murdered, because I don't think a regular sheep would have a pouch. Or, you know, money. But its rays lacked warmth. I couldn't shake the memory of the childhood sun. So warm and inviting, now it felt different. Perhaps it was a sign of the fading dynasty, an era gripped by misfortune, or even the daylight had grown cold. Gulp.mp3? Perched on a boulder in an inn in Huazo, I emptied the last drop from my flask. The fiery liquor seared in my throat, yet its warmth brought a refreshing coolness to my stomach. Also, I do want to clarify one thing. The rule in chat for chat rule, I should probably clarify this in the writing of it. It is only for live chat for the sake of being able to live moderate it. Comments, that I'm perfectly fine with the language being whatever, because then it's not live and I can go through and check that at my own pace. But just in, chat can end up on screen, or I just have to make sure during the live stuff is the main thing. But you can comment in that. That is less so for people to mess around with, but more so for, like, for example, when I play Tiny Bunny, I know there's a strong Russian audience, and, like, this game I know is, like, if you look on Steam, most of the reviews are Chinese. So that is just in case of that, and I can translate them going on. The fiery liquor seared my throat, yet its warmth brought a refreshing coolness to my stomach. In bygone days, I deemed myself an unfortunate soul. However, in this year of calamity, savoring the fiery liquor proved it to be a rare stroke of luck. Okay, I am. I thought I was covering that for a second.
呀，有活了，
A job to
还是
do.
个大活。
A big one. A familiar voice echoed in my ears. I glanced over, and there was Tung standing behind me. Same old attire, bamboo hat, raincoat. He seemed like a fisherman. Tung's eye gleamed, smiling at me, ready to spill some good news. What's the job? I gave him a quick look, inquiring casually.
城北有间客栈，关了尹三儿留的几只小羊。
Up north at an inn, got a few lambs locked up. I left behind by Yin-san.
本来呀，这几只小羊是尹三的人去送的，但他们犯了别的事儿，被官兵给抓了。
Originally, Yin-san's crew was supposed to escort these lambs, but they got into trouble, caught by the guards.
他现在无人可用，让我们替原本的人办事儿。
Now he's short on manpower and wants us to take over the task. I won't handle lambs.
哎，你会错意了。我当然知道你不杀小羊啊。
Ah, you've got it wrong. I know you won't harm any lambs. Then what's the deal?
我们要送几只小羊去洛阳。
We're to escort a few lambs to Luoyang. Human trafficking. Oh yeah, there are some very dark things in this game, by the way, just to throw that out there. We're getting into human trafficking right away. My heart sank. I finally got what Tung had been hinting at with his mysterious talk. Whenever he sought me out before, it usually meant dark deeds, like assassination and smuggling. This time, all secretive-like, turned out he wanted us to do a job, deliver some acquired lambs to Luoyang for a good price.
诱口？你不能这么说。小羊又不是我们逮的，算不得诱口。
Human trafficker? Don't frame it like that. We didn't nab those lambs. It's not human trafficking.
你愿意这么想，倒是也好懂一些。
But if that's how you want to see
知
it...
道了，尹三儿那人虽然一直是帮我们介绍劫道的货，但是他的主业其实是人牙子。
Yin-san. He helps us spot opportunities in the underworld, but his main hustle is human trafficking.
这单确实是要把他搞到的小羊给送到洛阳，不过不是啥恶事儿，是善事儿。
This deal is about taking the lambs he found and delivering them to Luoyang. But it's not anything shady, it's a good deed. How is human trafficking a good deed? I frowned and I didn't want to hear Tung talk
当
anymore.
然是善事儿啊！哎，你听我说，先听我说。
It's a good deed, trust me, just listen. Lord, can I just say your message of I don't trust him came through as trust me was appearing on screen? Meowing. There is a short on this channel of me meowing involuntarily. You can find it pretty easily. Just type meow. Also, hi, Lord. How you doing?
呀，这几年各地大旱，很多羊都被饿死，所以呀，有快饿死的人家把他家的小羊卖给尹三换钱粮。
Leon, with widespread drought in recent years, many families are on the brink of starvation. So, you know, in desperate times, they sell their lambs to Yin-san for some money and food.
洛阳那边呢，有一只大肥羊啊，它有的是钱，就是生不出小羊，便想从穷地方收几只来养。
In Luoyang, there's a fancy sheep with deep pockets but no offspring. He's eyeing a deal to acquire a few from less fortunate places. Look, buddy, consider it, Lord, you just got here, but you missed the whole thing of the opening act of the main character is murdering and burying a body, and now these two are discussing human trafficking.
你想啊，那些穷人家的小羊们本来就要饿死，我们把它送到富的地方去。
Look, Lord, I don't think many people in this story are going to be good based on the description I read from the, well, at least not good up front. Maybe redemption over time, but I don't foresee them being, traditionally speaking, good people. Just think about it. Those lambs from poor families were bound to starve. We're just giving them a chance in a wealthier
这
place.
样，他们的父母不至于饿死，小羊也能吃得饱饱的，所有人都高兴了， 咱这是在做善事啊。
So their parents won't go hungry, the lambs eat well, and everyone's delighted. We're doing a good deed.
不瞒你说，一只小羊100两，4只小羊400两，你我对半分，今后几年都不愁吃穿啊。
No secrets here. 1 little lamb for 100 silver pieces, 4 for 400 silver pieces. We split it 50-50, and we're set for a few years without worrying about food and clothes. ...
妈的，扭扭捏捏的干啥呀？给
Damn
痛
it.
快呀！
Why the fuss? Just spill it.
你要是不做，这么好的活我就找别人做。这不是看你身手好，一个能顶俩。
Sorry, I just noticed. Like, duh, why'd you get a notification now? I don't know. Some people say they find. Look, if I check YouTube things, sometimes a 5-hour stream will end, and then just after it's ended, it'll say view from notifications, and I'm just like, nah. If you're not game, I'll find someone else for this great deal. It's all about your skills. One should be able to handle 2. Hold on. I talked to Tongue. When do the lambs need delivering?
越早越好，我今天就要去看看。
As soon as possible. I'm checking it out today. Fine, I'll join you. I rose, brushing off dust. Tongue chuckled, leading the way. Thank you for the lovely blue 2 super duper do, Lord. You can see the future. Do you see Code Veronica in the future? Tongue said a few words, and I got convinced. It could be the promise of no worries about food and clothing, or perhaps the idea of doing good deeds swayed me. If I tell you what happens, it won't happen. God, okay. I know that's a long-standing quote, but I hear that line and I'm just like, a quote from a former favorite character of mine from the second to last Marvel movie I ever cared about. Anyway, I'm going along with Tongue's plan to see what's up. Oh, hello there.
哎呦，我的2位爷，我总算把你们给盼来了。哎，快坐，快坐。
Well, well, my esteemed guests, I've been waiting for you. Sit down, take a seat, quick.
妈的狗子，没个眼力劲儿，快给2位爷上热酒。
Damn it, stupid, what fetch hot wine for our 2 guests now. Just arrived at the inn with Tongue, and Yin-san greeted us with a flattery. Neighbors, I have no, do you mean this thing, or, this is, the person who's, you know, giving tips to the legally questionable deeds. Wait, can I? Oh, no, you're up there. Oh, no, that's my hair. Why am I'm confused. I confused myself. Guiding us over to our seats at the inn, he scolded his workers to bring us drinks. The sudden shift in behavior made me wonder if he was just acting. School zones? Buddy, this is... Read the title of the stream and the title of the game. Late Ming Dynasty. I think there are other concerns with this type of a person rather than allowed near schools. I stayed standing, eyes fixed on Yin-san. My mind wandering into some interesting scenarios, possibly from my childhood love for shadow plays. Whenever I meet someone, their animal form pops into my head. Most are sheep. Tongue and I are wolves. Yin-san, though, comes across as a sly fox. Yeah, that's very accurate. ... This fox's lair was the inn in North Huazo. Again, forgive anyone who knows better than me. Forgive pronunciation. North Huazo. No guests came, and it's closed all year. The inn was a cover. He used it for his business dealings. There's a higher up he answered to. The big boss handed down quests, and he passed them on to us. Back then, the jobs we pulled for him were all about hitting caravans. He'd tip us off on a sweet haul, and we'd go in. This time, it's a bit different. A job involving human trafficking. Whatever the job, we meet up at this inn most of the time.
尹三儿，我们来了。梁说他可以接。
Yin-san, we're in. Liang's open for the job. Who said I'm in? I haven't committed. Very good to do that for human trafficking. I haven't committed yet.
啊，没定。哎呦，良爷，你可不能没定啊！
Haven't made up your mind? Can't be uncertain now.
哎，你身手好，又和星爷熟，这活可不能缺了你。
You're skilled, and you're buddies with Master Xing. We can't do this without you.
哎，我知道您之前没做过右口的事儿，也不愿意做。
I know you're not into human trafficking, and you haven't done it before. Not into human trafficking! The wording on that, I know you're not into human trafficking. This sounds like one of those things where it's just like you say it as a bait. I know you're not into human trafficking.
只是真的不用担心，你们这次的活只是运送小羊，小羊是怎么来的，要送给谁，都和你们没关系。
Just relax, your job this time is just delivering lambs. How they got there, who they're for, and where they're going, none of your business. Ah. Attempt to sleep. You know what? At least you did the good redecoration and sleep will come. That is what I'll say.
而且我也不怕给你们交个底儿，这次啊，收小羊的人权势滔天，哪怕出了什么事儿，官府也查不下去。
I'll be straight with you. The person getting the lambs wields serious power. Even if things go south, the government won't be able to dig into it.
哎，再说了，现在兵荒马乱，官府哪能管得上啊？嘿，哎，星爷，您说是吧？
And in the chaos, the government can't keep up, Master Xing. You're on board, right?
是啊，去他娘的官府！闪地好多地方造反，他们要么在贪钱，要么在藏钱，哪能顾得上我们？
Exactly. Forget the officials. Many spots in Shangji province are in rebellion. They're either chasing money or hoarding it. They won't hassle us. Oh God, Bank and DMV. God, those are just lovely pains. Congratulations on facing those and coming out. Yinzan explained to me with tongue backing him up. Tongue chugged half a cup of hot wine. Oh, what? I'm sorry, I'm just remembering the last stream where it's just you and Gatling gun, it didn't work, and now it's just like, now you pulled out the sniper rifle. Oh God. You missed him for the mountainside, and then all of a sudden you pull out the precision weapon. Frank is properly membered now. And also thank you, Lord, for the gifted membership. Tongue chugged half a cup of hot wine, backing Yinzan and shooting me a signal. ... No worries about food and clothes, doing good deeds, and times are chaotic. They kept echoing in my mind, challenging my principles. Now, do I dive into this job, or think twice? Where's the save button? Flowchart, save. Okay, there's an autosave. We'll save it here. Yes. You can finally. I misread the word rest as west for some reason, so it's like, yes, you may finally go west. So ready to accept the quest or scope out the line. I would like more information on that one. What you said, West? West? What type of compass are you reading there, Patrick? Let me see. That's west, Patrick. You're fired again. Sorry, yeah, okay. I'm gonna be right back before making this choice. 1 second. Real quick. Leave that there. Guess what's a BGM real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick be right back before making any type of important choices. So, real quick. Bye-bye. I am back. And I am here to make decisions. Decision 1. Scope out lambs first. I take a look at the lambs first, and I'll decide later. I said slowly to Yi-san and Tong.
哎，行，梁爷愿意看小羊，那就有戏。
Alright, if you're interested in checking the lambs, I might have a chance.
猴子，去，把小羊带上来。
Mutt, go! Bring the lambs up here! Yin-san shouted, his voice echoing. The inn's waiter nodded, hurrying towards the back door. ... The lambs were brought up, tied with hemp ropes around their waists, linked to stop any escape. Some softly cried, others trembled, nudged into a line by the inn's server standing in front of me. ... I kept quiet, scanning the lambs. The first sheep is what that one is called, or these two are called. Oh no, first, okay, two there. ... The leftmost lamb and the second one. They must know each other. Staying close, the older one guarding the younger. Probably sisters, both pretty young. I figured the older sister was 9 and the younger one was 6. Ah, yes. Human trafficking of children, that is the story we're getting into here. Both sported worn-out clothes, dark skin, and rugged, disheveled faces. Their slender frames hinted at a life of poverty. Glancing at them, the older sister, scared yet putting on a brave front, defiantly locked eyes with me, while the younger one shied away, too frightened to speak. Maybe the older sister aimed to protect the younger one, and viewed me as a threat. There's a lot of dots going around here. The third lamb stood out from the first two. Probably in her early school years, she wore old clothes, was small, but had much fairer skin than the first two lambs. She shyly lowered her head, hesitant to speak, yet her upright stance hinted at an unusual background. Wait. Bought the ones on the left. Bought the ones on the left. The third, was she snatched? I casually asked Yin-san, laying out my judgment.
哟，梁爷眼力真准，不瞒您说，确实如此啊。
Well, you have sharp eyes. I won't lie. It's
左
true.
边啊，这俩小羊是姐妹，她们是附近穷山沟的。
Over here. Over there, these two lambs are sisters. They're from nearby poor
哎呀
hills.
现在各处闹饥荒，他家养不起这么多娃子，便先把女娃卖了，给小儿子换粮吃。
With famine everywhere now, their family couldn't feed all those kids, so they sold the girls to feed the little boy. Yin-san spoke slowly, and as he did, I shifted my attention to the two lambs, keeping an eye on their reactions. After hearing that, the younger sister stood there, seeming a bit lost. The older sister, with teary eyes, looked on the verge of crying. It seemed what Yin-san said was true.
啊，至于第三只嘛，哎，出身不错，确实是我们拐来的。
About the third one, she's from a good family, but was snatched by us. Is it safe for the one you snatched?
哎，肯定安全，不安全我哪敢往外送啊？
Absolutely safe. Do you think I'd risk sending her out otherwise? No way snatched ones are saved, especially when this lamb seems from a decent family. I hushed my tone and spoke icily to Yin-san.
哎，情况特殊，梁爷，别急，别急呀、哎，
Unusual situation, Master Liang. Take it easy, take it easy. Yin-san chuckled awkwardly in response to
哎
my
这边
words.
说话。
Let's talk over here. Yin-san pulled me aside a bit, trying to steer clear of that
梁
lamb.
爷啊，这只小羊情况特殊，我们查过的。虽然它是贵家出身，但运它没有风险。
Lord Liang, Slam is in a unique situation. We looked into it, and despite her noble background, trafficking her is risk-free. Why? What does trafficking a noble young lady become risk-free? Aren't you worried her family might report this to the government?
报官？哎呀，不怕。
Report to the government? No fear.
他家现在自顾不暇，怎么可能来找他呀？
Her family is too occupied right now. No way they'd come looking for her. What happened?
他家呀，曾与原毒师交往甚密，好像还沾点亲戚。
Her family had close connections with Supervisor Yuan. It appears to be distant relatives.
原毒师你知道吧？哎，就是那个得罪了万岁爷被切片的，被诛了3族啊！
You know Supervisor Yuan, right? The one who offended the emperor, got sliced, and had his entire clan wiped
毒
out.
师死后，他家遭受株连，杀的杀，流放的流放，遭贬的遭贬，早就家不成家了。
After Supervisor Yuan's death, her family faced consequences. Some were killed, some banished, and others demoted. Their household fell apart long ago. ... I kept quiet. If Yin-san's words held true, no one would bother about the lamb this family lost. In times of peace and prosperity, the offspring of condemned officials were disregarded. Let alone in times of turmoil. Fine. I'll give the last lamb another look. I nodded, leaving the matter of the third lamb behind, and turned my attention to the last one. ... The fourth lamb's a young boy. He looks like the oldest. Tall, a bit shorter than me. Hunched awkwardly, tilting his head. He anxiously looked around, his gaze dodgy and elusive.
三儿，这羊看起来不太对啊，有呆变。
Yin-san, this lamb looks off. Is he sick? Tongue frowned, studying the fourth lamb before
哎，
him.
是啊，他确实有点呆傻。
True, he's a bit slow.
小时候患了热病，把脑袋烧傻了。
Did he get a childhood fever that fried his
哎
brain?
不是，似乎他就是天生傻。这小羊从小就这样，家里一开始觉得他是弥勒佛转世，就一直养到大。
No, he's naturally slow. This lamb's been like this since childhood. His family initially thought he was the reincarnation of Maitreya Buddha, so they kept raising
后
him.
来闹了饥荒，家里穷了些，不想养这佛了，他妈就把这小羊卖给我们了。
Later, when famine hit and the family became poor, not wanting to keep the Buddha anymore, his mother sold this lamb to us. Mom, Mom, Mom. The fourth lamb got restless, yelling Mom loudly. Seeing this, the other lambs seemed to think of their own moms, eyes tearing up, quietly sobbing. Maybe for these lambs, feeling spread like laughter. Spread like laughter. What is that? Okay, I do not know that word. Laughter.
尹三儿，你确定肥羊会想要这种小羊？
Yin-san, you think the fancy sheep would want a lamb like these? Tongue asked with a mocking tone, a hint of anger in his
哎呦，
voice.
谁知道呢？也许哪家也觉得他是弥勒佛转世，想要养呢。
Who knows, maybe they believe he's the reincarnation of Maitreya Buddha and want to keep him.
洛阳那家说尽量是女娃子，但或许也能看下男娃子，能收的男娃比女娃少多了，也就只能搞到这种的了。
The Luoyang family requested girls, but they might consider boys. It's tough to find boys, so we had to settle for this bunch.
不行，这种绝对不行。
No, this one's definitely a no-go.
哎，星爷为何不行啊？
Why not, Mr. Xing?
先不说我要是肥羊，绝对不想要这种小羊，你给我们运也运不了啊。
Yuki, I'm just gonna say that there is currently a new chat rule to keep stuff in English for sake of moderation purposes. Just gonna throw that out there as it's a new rule. But hi Yuki, how you doing? Even if I were the buyer, I wouldn't want these lambs, and we can't handle escorting them. Oh, wrong voice. So I was doing his voice, not his. How are you and good morning? Okay, you I trust a little bit more than most people as well, but just yeah. Oh, you know, we're doing good. Just story opens with human trafficking, so you know that's what we're in for. Even if I were the buyer, I wouldn't want these lambs, and we can't handle escorting them. Playing, I know, but again, for sake of, again, since you are here, have been here for literal years, I trust you a little bit more. But as a general rule, I'll just have that in there for sake of You know, historical Chinese. Okay, nothing weird. I mean, yeah. This is Ming. Ming Dynasty. So you know, we're going historical here.
这弥勒佛带着太麻烦，我和你梁爷在路上被他惹急了，一冲动便可能把他宰了。
This Buddha is too much trouble. If Master Liang and I get annoyed with him on the road, we might just end up getting rid of him.
哎呦，星爷呀，你就不能收收脾气？这是肥羊要的羊，少一只就少一份钱，丢一只可能都要你们倒给钱的。
Master Xing, ease up. These are the lambs the fancy sheep want. Lose one, lose money. Lose two, you pay up extra.
那我更不能要了，我最管不来这种有呆病的。
And count me out. Can't handle the slow ones.
我们管不了他，若是他一路喊喊叫叫，难免会引来官兵盗匪，到时候所有人都要完蛋。
The Chinese pronoun. Are you referring to this? You referring to this one? Are you referring to the nickname Tongue or? We can't handle him. If he keeps yelling, it'll draw attention from soldiers and bandits. Everyone will be in trouble. Agreed. I sided with Tongue. What a weird. I do wonder why that's his nickname. It hasn't been explained yet. I haven't missed that, right? This lamb is too hard to handle and might lead to more problems.
行，我早知道你会不愿意。
All right. Figured you wouldn't be keen on this one.
也罢，其实我也担心那肥羊会不喜欢男娃，哪怕这种肥点的也不行，大概率会退货。
That's fine. Honestly, I was worried the fancy sheep wouldn't like a boy, even a plump one. There's a high chance of a return.
哎，狗子，那你还是把那小羊也带上来吧。
Mutt, might as well bring that lamb too. And what about that lamb? Pretty sure you got the gender wrong. I furrowed my brow, puzzled by Yinzan's suggestion. ... And that's the cover girl, if I'm not mistaken. I was confused by this line for a moment, and I was like, oh, that's her hair. It took me a second to realize that was her hair. I was very confused for a second. Before long, the waiter returned with another lamb. The fifth... There's so much ... The lamb stepped out from the backyard, immediately catching my eye. Appeared to be around 10, in the early years of schooling. Donned in worn-out clothes, her skin wasn't dark nor particularly fair. Quite slender, my first takeaway from observing her. She had a small frame, clothes tightly wrapped around her, revealing protruding bones at her wrists. The thin fabric outlined her skeletal structure. Her hair was pitch black, while her eyes had an unusual deep blue hue. This lamb appeared delicate. If she were a bit plumper, perhaps she'd be a beauty in the making.
哟，这小羊看着还不错。你这儿的几只小羊，说实话，除了弥勒佛，都还长得不磕碜。
Hey, this lamb looks alright. Honestly, apart from the Buddha, your other lambs ain't bad.
那是，我的货源肯定正。哎，梁爷觉得如何呢？
That's right, my lambs are top-notch. What do you think, Master Liang? I don't mind how the lamb looks, but I'm curious why she isn't tied up like the others. I noticed the last lamb wasn't tied with a rope around her waist. Curiously, I asked Yin-san.
啊，它和其他小羊不一样，它不用绑带。
She's unique and doesn't need a tie. You trust her?
放心呢，它不是被卖过来或是拐来的，而是逃荒的时候自己过来的。
Certainly, she came here on her own during the famine, not sold or snatched.
这娃子呀，是上个月刚来的，像是被调教过，只要给一口饭吃，什么活都愿意做。
This one arrived last month, trained, obedient. Feed her and she'll do any work.
哎呀，虽然我也觉得可惜，但你们若是不想带那弥勒佛，可以让他替着去吧。正好啊，他也愿意去洛阳。
Well, it's a pity, but if you don't want the Buddha, you can let her go instead. She's up for a trip to Luoyang.
哎，他是哑巴，但是很懂事，平常不哭闹。你们跟他说会去一个能吃饱饭的地方，他必定愿意跟着去。
She's mute but well behaved, just Mention a place with plenty of food, and she'll come along willingly. You mentioned she's mute, but no one other than the Buddha child is spoken yet.
我说尹三儿啊，你这儿的小羊怎么除了傻子就是哑巴？
I gotta ask Yin-san, why are all these lambs here either slow or mute?
哎呦，这小羊是哑巴又怎样？二位爷呀，说真的，要不是跟肥羊约好了货的数量，我真不打算把它给交出去。
Mute or not, you two. If it weren't for the deal with the fancy sheep about quantity, I wouldn't have considered selling her. Also, that is just how visual novels tend to go. Just you have the few choices in there, and also we're only been playing for like 40-some minutes. We are not even a percentage into here.
你们别不信，哪怕它不会说话，养大后绝对能卖个好价钱。
Trust me, even without words, she'll be worth a good sum once she's grown.
它耳朵没问题吧？
Her ears good?
哎，没问题的。
Huh. Nope. No problem. Jose, I have to laugh at that because you are saying, oh, it feels like reading a book. It's like, it's if only there was a word in the genre's name that would potentially hint at it being like reading a book. If only, you know, half of the title of the genre was a giveaway that it's basically a book. You know, visual novel. It's almost like it's, you know, written in there.
那倒也方便。
Alright, that's convenient. Tongue nodded, agreeing with Yin-san's idea. Having this girl along would be easier than dealing with the boy's issues. I agreed with that, but I wanted more details. Yin-san, how old are these lambs, and what are their names? I asked Yin-san.
所属的俩姐妹，9岁和6岁，叫红儿和翠儿。
Oh god, I'm going to butcher name pronunciations. The two sisters on the left are 9 and 6 years old, named Hong-er and Kuei-er. Oh, okay, yeah, because the er is like the family name. Oh god. Hong-er and Kuei-er. Kuei-er. I'm hoping that's pronunciation. Look, if anyone knows actual pronunciation, please correct me.
第三只叫琼华，9岁。
The third one is named Kyonghwa. Kyonghwa, 9 years old. These names aren't weird. This is just Chinese. That's not weird.
最后一只小羊，哎，它是哑巴，也不识字，所以很难知道名字。你们就叫它小哑巴就可以了。
The last one, she's mute and can't read, so it's tough to know her name. You can just call her Little Mute.
哦，年龄还是知道的。我问他是否9岁的时候，他点过头，估摸着就是9岁。
Oh, I still know her age. I asked if she's 9 and she nodded. So she's about 9 years old. ... No name, 9 years old, mute. I looked again at the last lamb, brought in as a backup. ... Why did you get closer? Oh, because closer inspection. This time she looked up and met my eyes. Surprisingly, she didn't shy away like the other lambs. She stared at me quietly. Her deep blue eyes reflected my image. A subtle mist veiled her gaze, or maybe it was just my imagination. Strangely, during that brief eye contact, a particular thought crossed my mind. She stood out as the only one among these children who didn't resemble a lamb. Cat. She appeared cat-like. Okay, so 1632. I agreed to Yin-san's job. After that, Tong and I spent a night in Yin-san's inn. The next morning, I tidied up my attire, wiped down the sword, and sheathed it. Before we hit the road, Yin-san got us 2 pack horses for the journey. You can't ride them, but they're perfect for carrying stuffs. Pretty sure that should just be stuff. Oh, the joys of language translation. To avoid checks on the main roads, we'll take a lot of mountain paths. These trails aren't good for wagons, but packed horses will work. The inn was just a remote spot, and very few people were around, especially in the early morning. Tung and I stood by the inn, estimating how much time our job would take and planning what stuff to bring along.
华州到洛阳路途600里，哪怕日行50里，也要走半个月。
Huazhou to Luoyang, 600 miles. Even at 50 miles a day, it's a fortnight's trek. You know, you would think they would use... Sorry, just the use of miles here is the weirdest thing I've come across so far. Can't reckon it that way. With the little lambs, we're looking at a max of 20 miles a day. Taking detours extends the overall journey.
妈的，那就要被30日的干粮和
Does
水。
translate?
现在各处闹饥荒，这么多粮又得花不少钱。
Yuki, I do. Yeah, it is originally Chinese, so I'm, translated over. I don't know how exactly. Like, literally, this is actually an odd thing I did notice. I actually have to go and manually, like, if I check the game on Steam updates, there is one thing that has English words in it, but, like, game updates are all purely in Chinese. So I'm presuming some minor translation issues. Human trafficker. Gotta pack 30 days worth of grub and water with famine all around. It's gonna dig deep into our pockets. Packing light for now, but... Pack light for now, buy provisions on the road. Head east, fewer folks fleeing, cheaper grub.
行，要是我们到时候困在山里，实在饿极了，就吃个小羊充饥。
Sure, if we're stuck in the mountains and super hungry, we'll munch on a little lamb. ... Tung grinned and cracked a joke. I just shrugged it off and didn't say anything. Time to roll, I'll fetch them. I tossed a quick word to Tung, grabbed my dagger, and headed straight into the inn to call the lambs. ... I woke up the little lambs and took them outside. 3 had ropes around their waists, tied together. The mute one, without a rope, bounced around strangely.
梁，你说要不要把那个小哑巴也一起绑了？
Liang, should we tie up the mute girl
虽
too?
然尹三说他是自愿去的，不用担心会逃，可他这样能撒丫子跑，我不放心。
Yi-san says she went willingly, but with her bouncing around, I'm not so sure she won't dash off. Yeah, makes sense. I nodded, went to the saddle, and found a rope in the bag. I connected the new rope to the third lambs, tied a knot, and went over to the mute girl with the other end of the new rope. Oh, her head went down. ... The mute girl surely caught wind of our talk. She peeked at me, then turned away. Without looking directly, she stood tall, arms raised on both sides. ... I didn't say anything, just stood behind her, head down. I took the rope, looped it twice around her waist, and tied a knot at her back. As I wrapped the rope, I could feel how skinny she was. The rope around her waist was only half arm's length. So thin. After that, I double-checked the ropes on the little lambs, and then tied the rope ends to the pack horse. These knots were really tight, and unless they had something sharp, it'd be tough for them to untie. Even if they tried to cut the ropes, it would take time. Tung and I kept watch, making it tricky for the lambs to get a chance. I really wish I had taken note of what Tung's actual name was, because I've genuinely forgotten what it is. When I tied the rope around the mute girl's waist, she went along with it, didn't put up a fight at all. She did seem as sensible as Yin-san said.
喂，小崽子们，都听好了啊，我们这就出发。
Hey, little ones, listen up, we're setting off.
这一路上，你们叫我星爷，叫他梁爷。我们要走1-2个月，为的是把你们送去能吃饱喝足的地方。
On this journey, call me Master Jing, call him Master Liang. We're going to be on the road for a month or two, aiming to take you to a place with lots to eat and drink.
我们出城后一直向东走，走的路大多都是山路。
Once we're out of the city, we're heading east, mostly taking mountain paths.
每日走的不多，日行20里便可。
Won't be covering much ground each day, just about 20 miles.
粮食我都备齐了，今后我们一天吃2顿，午时1顿，傍晚1顿。这2顿多吃点儿，别的时候不许喊饿。
Got the food ready, we're eating twice a day now, noon and evening. Eat more during these times. No whining about hunger at other times.
走路时不许交头接耳，不许哭闹，违者罚粮1天。
No chatting or crying while walking, break the rule, no food for a day.
这一路不要想着逃跑啊！逃者鞭笞数百，打死后还要被我活剥生吃。
No thinking about running away on this journey. Runners get 100 lashes, and if you die, I'll strip your skin and have a feast. Oh, Lacey's made that nice and clear. Tongue, all red-faced and loud, introduced himself to the little lambs as he set the rules. While he talked, he pulled out a piece of thorny vine from his bag and waved it in the air, showing it to the lambs. The young lambs couldn't hide their feelings well. Couldn't hide their feelings well at that. When they heard about a place with lots to eat and drink, their eyes got big, but when they heard about I'll strip your skin and have a feast, they all got scared and huddled up. Especially that refined lamb named Kyonghua. Kyonghua. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, anyone who knows better, please correct. When Tongue waved the thorny vine, she got so scared her legs shook, almost falling down. Q is ch. Okay, it's ch. I knew it was different, so ch. Thank you, Chill Miser Robot. Tongue always likes seeing lambs scared of him. He glanced at the frightened Zhonghua. There, okay. Immediately coming in to help. Yeah, so Zhonghua. Pronunciation from chatting? Well, it was already done. The Chill Miser Robot. Playful smile on his face. Don't dawdle, time to go. I told Tongue not to overdo it and pay attention to the time.
行，出发吧。
Got it. Let's roll. Oh yeah, also I need to respond. Fans. I don't know why I wanted to just shoot my voice super high during that one, but you know what? Screw it, we did that. Tongue turned around and yelled at the lambs once more. His shout made the lambs shiver. He chuckled, licked his lips, and led the way forward. And we're back at the same forest path. We followed Yin-san's chosen path to leave the city. Outside, we headed east along the planned route. To steer clear of the main road, we had to go through the foothills of Erhua Mountain. I don't know why my instinct with R's is to roll them no matter what. Like, even sometimes in English, I just roll my R's for some reason. Look, my tongue just go. First, we crossed Shaohua Mountain, then Huashan. Then after that, we reached Tongguan, secretly Scottish. Look, there's like a 2% trace of Scotsman inside of me. Why did I'm poking my cheekbone for some reason right now. It's like, there's a Scotsman inside my cheekbone. Where Yisan had set up a place for us to stay. Huh. Yes, insert Scotland forever here. I'm not going to shout it for many a reason at the moment. But I will do this. Why did I do that like a... Okay, Scotland is a home of demon, apparently. The mountain roads were tough, taking 4 to 8 days. We're just... Okay, we're skipping 4 to 8 days, jeez. Tongue and I knew this part of Erhua... What? Erhua. Like, my tongue just naturally wants to roll when I pronounce the word Erhua. Erhua. Thank you. Erhua Mountain well. Dodging bandits, but we must watch out for wild beasts in the mountains. Can't be too careless. ... Also, you say ear hunter, and the first thing I think of is Mike Tyson. We walked through Shaohua Mountain. No talking as we went along. All we saw were endless trees, dirt, and rocks. All we heard were hooves, bugs, and footsteps. After about an hour, Tongue suddenly started talking to me.
喂，梁，你知道群大虫吗？
Hey, Liang. Know about a herd of tigers? A herd of tigers? Erhua? Explain why that is funny. It is lost on me.
哦，你不知道啊？
Oh, you don't know?
群大虫就是成群的大虫，寻常时候大虫都是独来独往。
A herd of tigers are tigers that come together. Usually tigers like to be on their
前
own.
些年陕北闹饥荒，很多人向东逃难，都逃到了一些山区里，被大虫吃了。
Few years back, during famine in northern Shaanxi, lots of folk. Yeah, Shaanxi. Sorry, every time I'm trying to pronounce or check my pronunciation on a few things. Lots of folks fled east and ended up in the mountains where they got eaten by tigers. So Asian languages have trouble with R and L as related to the... vague idea, but enlighten me there.
多了，生崽也多，过2年就都是成群的大虫了。
With tigers chowing down on folks, they had more babies. And after a couple of years, they turned into a herd of tigers. ...
哎，梁，你说，若来了10几头大虫，我们还有命不？
Young, what if a dozen tigers show up? Can we survive? Likely not. Doubt it. Well, good to know me and the main character are on the same page. Me, likely not. Main character, doubt it. Yeah, same thing, different words.
那不一定。
You never know.
我们手中有刀啊！啊，如果见到大虫，我就挥刀斩了小羊们，放出一堆血来。
We have daggers. If we run into tigers, I'll swing the sword, cut the lamb, spill some blood. Oh. Adding the O. Erhua. Oh. Oh, okay. Erhua adding the R sound. Yeah, yes, add the sound randomly into the middle there for the Erhua. Yeah. Huh. Oh, hey, I'm actually starting to break the rolling. Erhua. Nope, there's a little bit of rolling that wants to happen there. No, you don't stop. Oh, because you. Oh. Gotcha. I'm starting to understand language and accents with the Chill Miser robot Fando. Or Orf.
大虫见着血肉，定不会去咬我们这些持刀的啊，会冲上去分食小羊。那时我们便可逃了啊！
But when the tigers see blood and meat, they won't go after us with daggers. They'll charge to eat the lambs, and that's when we can escape. Familiar with the concept. I know you by Fando, Chillmiser, and Arf. You have several names. Tongue burst into laughter, cranking up his voice in the last 2 words. I knew he was doing it on purpose, trying to let the lambs behind us hear. You seem to enjoy frightening these lambs, huh? Is that fun? I threw a cold remark at Tongue.
肯定有趣儿啊！
Sure is fun. Tongue chuckled, a dagger slung over his shoulder. Moving forward, his dagger is here. This guy's an asshole. Fando, the main character, and this guy are both involved in human trafficking right now. I think asshole is the lowest of insults we can throw at them. Like, the main character, who is the one that I am reading out, it is currently also involved in human trafficking of children. I glanced back at the lambs. 3 of them were scared white by Tong's words. The mute one just lowered her head, lost in thought. ... Was she not afraid of tigers? ... Wanted to play a scumbag. I think, okay, hold on. During Ming Dynasty, there is a thing of contextual history is like, okay, this is more normal. I still don't think we can still call out scumbaggery of such a thing. Hold on, I do want to check a thing. I just want to make sure. Oops. Okay. Yeah, no, there is a thing of, and what this game is trying to go for, at least in part, judging by the brief Steam description I got, like, an angle of redemption, a little bit of it, so we'll see how that goes. This is a longer one, so, like, around, like, 10 to 15 hours is what I'd guess. Probably a little slower, given my pace. Hold on. Yeah, like 9, that one's good. Those ones are early, 16 hours. Yeah, I'd be willing to bet it's like 10 plus hours, depending on how many, if going for multiple endings. Huh. We're not seen as good people. Yeah, no, especially with kids. Yeah, the youngest one here is 6. 2 of them are 9, and I forget how old the other one is. Ah, Davey. How do? Davey Pyrobutt. And now we move up. Around noon, after walking for hours, we took a break for half an hour. Tong had some grub first, then said he wanted a quick nap and dozed off against a tree. After that, I handed out food to the lambs, giving each one a bit of dry grub and half a pot of water. The hungry lambs quickly started munching on the dry grub and shared the water. As I munched on my own grub, I kept an eye on them. The 2 dark-skinned lambs, Hunger and Quer. Oh, God. These 2 I struggled to pronounce the most. Hunger and Quer, if I remember right, ate pretty fast and finished quickly. If I remember right. I'm trying to remember too there, buddy. Hunger is the older sister, and she looks after her younger sister, giving her more water. She only took a tiny sip herself. Sweet, wait, oh. Okay, oh. There's tones here. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so Shui, oh god. Kui, I could do cross-reference afterwards, but, we will see. The well-bred girl, that is odd way to refer to her, who got snatched was still kinda scared. She took the grub really carefully, eyes wide open, like she thought I might stab her while they were grabbing a bite. Chinese a lot of tones. Ah. Technically Google Translate. Okay, not for the sake of actually translating it, but having the Google Translate pronunciation feature, even if it's not 100% accurate, it's still a helpful reference to have. She had a good upbringing. I figured as much. There's been some, like they said the word stuffs with an S at the end of it, so I know the pronunciations are not, or not the pronunciations, the translations are not perfect, and every game's, like, if you check on Steam, every update version and patch note for this game is purely in Chinese. There was like a thank you to the fans that had English, that was in English, and that's one of the few things in English. Not used for humans. I don't know, this is human trafficking, so maybe this is talking about... maybe that is this. Surprisingly, even though she's a kidnap miss, she didn't complain about the grub and finished it all. Proofreading is pretty hard, especially when you're not, proficient in the language. This is another thing that's confusing me. Like, this is... I can't think of a translation why someone would... This is a weird one. The apostrophe bout as opposed to about. But, the idea of a kid being a commodity, that genuinely, that what I would think would be more reasonable, well-bred, because she is, yeah, noble, yeah. Given this is human trafficking, that one wouldn't surprise me if it was intentional. Not sure if Yin-san did a good job training her after the snatch, or she just figured out how things are now. While eating, her eyes got teary, and I figured she's thinking about something. Heard it's easier for poor folks to handle a rich life, but rich folks struggling in poverty, that's a tough deal. Probably hits lambs like her hard. Dot dot dot. Yeah. Besides watching those 3 lambs, I also kept an eye on the mute girl. She chowed down on her grub, eating really quick. Looking away for a sec, and she polished off everything like she hasn't eaten in forever. Well, she is basically skin and bone, so...
Liang Ye.
Master Liang? While I was watching the mute girl, a lamb's voice suddenly reached my ears. The sister named Hung Er lifted her arm, shyly calling me. Not quite used to saying my name. What's up? What's up? I don't know if this, again, this is just translation stuff. Like, certain things like what's up does not feel this doesn't feel time period appropriate for the whole thing, but again, I'm presuming that's just a lost in translation thing. Something like what is it would make more sense there, I feel. I stood up, furrowing my brow, and asked her.
我们要来抽抽，别的不行了。
This needs to go poop. You can't hold it. Hunger told me a bit awkwardly. Get across his casual streak. That might be it. I turned to look at the younger sister. Well, that definitely seems like a child in distress. Sorry, I have to scroll back up for the... So apparently scrolling up brings up the, this, because I was trying to scroll back up to chat for the reference. So, okay, well... Look, she has to use bathroom. ... Oh wait, did I? Oh yeah, I did miss one. Claire's face turned really red. She hunched over, holding her legs, just like Hunger said. Oh, if you scroll down, it just... Oh, okay. Eat, drink, pee, poop, just like folks. We had been out on the road for a while, and these little lambs probably needed a break. Since Tongue didn't cover the rules about relieving themselves, they might have been holding it in until now. Okay. Note to self, do not scroll. It causes weird things to happen. Sure. If anyone needs to go, just do it right here. I looked at them and casually let them know how I handled this matter. ... More like S it. So Slayer? Okay, that's what the CH pronunciation. So Slayer? That'd be Slayer? At least, look, let them go behind a tree at least, is my thing.
良夜，不行。
Master Leon, you can't. Why not? ... The lamb called Xianghua. Okay, that one, after the correction on Q, I'm relatively confident in. Xianghua seemed uneasy about my suggestion to do it right here. Like, swear, okay. She looked at me awkwardly and then glanced nervously at Tongue, who was resting under a nearby tree. Her eyes showed worry and discomfort. I thought she was gonna try and piss on him. Well, I wasn't entirely sure of her thoughts, I could guess. Maybe she was concerned that if Tongue woke up and saw them relieving themselves nearby, he might find a reason to punish them. Or she might be hinting that being the only... Or she might be hinting that being the only girl among guys, she didn't want to do it in front of males. Two adult men and a bunch of child girl... Okay, that's a little confusing. By urinating on them. Yeah, no, that's not a way to quickly get yourself skinned and cannibalized. Kid's not male. I genuinely thought, yeah, because the two of them are sisters. The one of the noble family, yeah, the one, she's female, and then there's the mute girl. There was the boy, but he was, and I'm quoting the game here, slow. And got left behind for that. And then more towards the first one. After all, these young kids were still a few years away from being adults, and such concerns shouldn't bother them. Alright, follow me with the ropes. We'll head to a spot behind those trees. Line up and take care of it there. I shared the plan and went to the pack horses, undoing the tied ropes. Holding the ropes, I guided each lamb. Past the sleeping tongue. Past the sleeping I know that's his nickname, but past the sleeping tongue is a really weird, out-of-context sentence. Toward a cluster of trees a bit away. ... I led the lambs for a break. When they came back, Tongue was still asleep. Then it puts your tongue to sleep. Well, when my tongue is asleep due to the numbing stuff, I usually just bite it without realizing. It's usually my thing. The lambs took a short nap. I stayed awake, keeping an eye on them and the surroundings. ... Afternoon, we resumed our journey. You end up biting cheek. Oh, I did that too, to a point where I thought I caused permanent damage because I was just like, man, why is my mouth not closing all the way? Oh, wait, my mouth is still completely numb. We walked for 2 or 3 hours at the foot of Xiaohua Mountain. Thankfully, we didn't run into any beasts or the so-called herd of tigers, Tongue said. Sweet air. This will forever be the most hard to pronounce thing that I'm trying. So, sweet air, stumbled along the way, almost falling. Luckily, the rope tied around her waist and being close to her sister kept her from hitting the ground. Oh, night. The moon's shining bright, stars filling the sky. 1 second. I'm just gonna save and do a quick be right back now that we're at nighttime. 1 sec. Ugh. Lovely nighttime ambiance. But yeah, switch to that real quick. I'm gonna do a quick be right back before continuation. So real quick, thwadunk, bye bye. I'm going to consume some liquids before continuing real quick, so just enjoy the ambiance. Also, happy birthday to Jose Mother. And now, we may continue. The moon's shining bright, stars filling the sky. Soft clouds move slowly, bugs making a racket. Night made it hard to see. So we decided to find a campsite at dusk, resting until dawn before hitting the road again. We've been through these mountains a lot. Found a good mountain lake for a camp at dusk. Wait. Found a good mountain lake for camp as dusk settled in. Sorry, that was my misread. The lake was good for water and washing, and the conditions were decent. Tongue handled the camping, and I made a fire. He unloaded tools... Oh, sorry, excuse me. Brain slowed for a moment. He unloaded tools from the pack horse, gathering some dry straw nearby, and set up makeshift bedding. I grabbed a bundle of firewood and took out the fire starting tools from the stuffs. I'm just gonna try and autocorrect that to from the stuff. With the fire struck in one hand and a piece of flint in the other, I struck the flint hard, producing a sparks. Swiftly bringing the flint near the tinder after a few attempts, the flame finally caught on the tinder. The flame quickly spread from the tinder to the firewood, forming a blazing campfire. Is it weird that as soon as I started hearing the fire noises, I felt an actual little thing of warmth? That's just odd. The campfire served as a warning for nearby beasts and provided us with light and warmth. Oh!
Oh, big fire.
The youngest, Swear, the one who I will forever struggle to pronounce until I double-check this, happily sat down and got close to the blazing fire. She reached out her hands to feel the warmth of the campfire. Oh, that's cute. If only she weren't the subject of human trafficking. Seeing Swear do this, the other lambs first checked our expressions, making sure we weren't mad, and then also gathered around the campfire.
你还真能搭伙呀！我记得你不是怕火吗？
Young, you're good at making fire. Weren't you scared of it before? Just done with his work, Tongue joined us by the campfire. He brought up my old story. Well, I used to be scared of fire due to past memories of a disaster. Adopt them. Well, look, let's be real, Yuki. Actually, no, Yuki. You show up, you kick the two main characters' teeth in, and then you walk away with the children and lead them off to a better life. That is how you do. Actually, okay, the mute girl apparently came willingly. That's the weird thing, though. Where the hell? I'm sure we'll learn about where she came from, but she at least came willingly, so presumably she was worse off anyway. I was scared before. Not now.
那是好事儿啊！本来想着你怕火，下次杀人放火，我都不愿带着你。
Good. Thought I'd bail on you during next arson and murder if you were still afraid of fire. Would you? From college, which is the Citadel of Inhuman. Ah, the much reading. committed arson. Look, this entire story... actually, you know what? 1 second. Actually, no. You know what? I'll leave that up. I'll leave that up to just interpretation. You know how Steam has the disclaimer of adult content in-game? This one's like a mini paragraph that has a bit of interesting stuff into it, and we are going to get into probably some very gruesome things later on. ... Tongue scared the lambs with his words again, but I didn't feel like continuing the talk, and honestly, when you have to deal with someone, you don't need to resort to arson. When you have to deal with someone, you don't need to resort to arson.
累死了！要不是怕这些小羊跑了，就该让他们去给咱们拾柴火、铺床铺。
Damn. So tires. If it weren't for these lambs running off, I'd have them gather wood and make beds.
哎，梁，中午我休息过了啊，你先睡2个时辰吧。2个时辰后，你给我换班。
Yang, I've had my rest at noon. You catch a 4-hour nap first, then we swap shifts. All right. I nodded and settled down by the campfire. ... A gentle breeze... Was there text that I just missed? Gentle breeze passed by, making the campfire flames sway like torn red ribbons in the air. Okay, no, I didn't miss anything. The text just bugged a little bit. The fire's glow revealed the faces of the lambs who remained still, perhaps fearing punishment. Yet, their shadows had already adjusted to the surroundings. With the flickering firelight, those shadows danced freely, and the crackling of burning wood added a lively tune to their performance. The scene in front of me brought back memories of the shadow plays I enjoyed during my childhood. ... Feeling a bit drowsy, while lost in thoughts of shadow play, I ended up dozing off. Guess I'll take a nap. With tongue watching over the lambs, no need to fret. ... Slightly on edge, I clutched the dagger and dozed off. My gaze fixed on the dancing flames, succumbing to the weight of my eyelids, gradually slipping into dreams.
梁，醒醒！
Young, wake up! God, that actually startled me. I thought there would be at least a moment of peace. ... Tongue's voice echoed in my ears. I slowly opened my eyes. Huh? Did 4 hours fly by already? Guess that short nap didn't do much. Honestly, I felt more worn out now. 4 hours passed? I asked Tongue as I got up.
对，柴火烧了2捆，差不多2个时辰了。
Yep. Burned 2 bundles, nearly 4 hours. The lamb's okay?
都睡了。
Yep, all sleeping. Tongue gestured at the nearby beds. Lambs rested by the fire. Shuer and Hung Er together. Xianghua and the mute girl on separate beds. Ropes around their waists kept them in place. Okay, I'll take over the shift. I nodded, gesturing to Tongue, and decided to stand up for a quick stretch to refresh myself. Tongue saw me stand up, then he found a bed and lie down. Well, he passed out quick. He dozed off at me, and this main character speak so much alike. we both agree on the screwed by the pack of tigers, and he fell asleep fast. Soon enough, I heard his snoring. Now it's just waiting for the sun to rise. Was it? No. Wait. Quite a tough gig. I read that as quit touch the gig for some reason. Now, I do enjoy challenging myself on the pronunciation there, and if someone who knows better corrects me later on, please do. 4 hours of sleep daily for several dozen days. So those lambs probably had it better than us. On the way, they could sleep for 8 hours. Once we reached our destination, they might get sold to the fancy sheep. If luck was on their side, chosen by a fancy one, they might have even been adopted like daughters. Even if luck wasn't on their side, becoming servants or maids in these chaotic times was still better than being refugees and bandits like us, right? Thinking about it this way, That job might have actually been a good deed. Let you adopt them. Look, Yuki, if you're waiting on the other end of this human trafficking trip, then maybe you can adopt them. Just we get to the end of this and I superimpose you there and you adopt them. Thunk. While I was lost in my thoughts, a sudden noise caught my attention. I swiftly turned to see its origin. In the dancing firelight, a lamb rose to its feet. Okay, it's the mute. It was Little Mute. Why are you up? Also, Yuki, you would need a time machine to go back about 400 years as well. I asked Little Mute coldly. ... No words. She couldn't. Hungry? I asked again. ... Shook her head. Need to pee? ... She nodded. Pee? I frowned. In the middle of the night, such a bad habit. One that I am very succumbed to. ... She needed to pee, but it was tricky. The rope tied her to the other lambs, and going could disturb their sleep or bother tongue. Going nearby might not have been ideal, as it could have gotten smelly, and if she did it, then she might have repeated it when I was asleep. I don't know if she did it, and she might have repeated it when I was asleep. Alright, I'll untie you for now and lead you to the lakeside to pee. Just be good and don't do anything extra, I told Little Mute in a detached tone. ... She nodded obediently and also appears to have a very faint smile on her face. ... Russell. I moved behind her, carefully looking for the knots, and after a bit of effort, I finally undid the rope for her. You should have been able... You're the one who tied the knots around her. You should be able to find them. Follow me. I went to the fire, grabbed an unburnt stick, lit it as a torch, and continued forward. Little Mute followed behind me. She kept a grip on my robe, following closely to stay on track. And she kept stumbling onto my back, using it to stay steady. We walked over dry branches and fallen leaves, pushed aside the We walked over dry branches and fallen leaves, pushed aside the foliage blocking our way, and finally stepped onto soft soil. Very pretty. We reached the lakeside. So I'm taking a little moment to just appreciate the scenery. Tall reeds bordered the lake. The ground was damp and it seemed like a good spot to take care of business. Here's a good spot to go, I said to Little Mute. I keep wanting to say the Little Mute, but no, her name is just Little Mute because she is mute and therefore cannot speak her name. Pointing to the nearby reeds. Little Mute nodded and went over. She crouched down, tried to untie her belt, but then stood up again. ... She looked at me a bit embarrassed. Well, seemed like she's shy. She preferred some privacy. Fair enough. She seemed smart. I respected her wishes. ... I turned around to give her some privacy. After a bit, I heard the rustling sound. She was undoing her pants, doing it slow. She wasn't. I don't think she's properly wearing pants. A bit hesitant, perhaps worried I might turn around and catch a glimpse. ... A 9-year-old can think a lot. Yeah, no, they definitely can. When I was 9, did I care if there were people around when I peed? Oh? Yeah, that might be true. ... Yuki, you have an emote for that. Yuki, I'm just going to point out, you have an emote for ... That I know you have access to it, but... that might be true. Oh! Exclamation mark! Triple exclamation mark! Actually, hold on, I need to... Okay, what the hell was that jump scare sound effect? Suddenly, a chilly breeze swept over my neck. Tap, tap. Quick rhythmic footsteps echoed from behind. Someone was running right behind me. Little Mute! Exclamation. Okay, yep, she has the knife. Ah, this screenshot. I spun around. The shiny dagger flashed in the moonlight. In her hand, a small dagger glimmered, and she thrusted it upward, aiming at my throat. Her hair fluttered in the breeze, and beneath those strands, I saw a pair of eyes filled with deadly intent. And glowing. Where did she get the dagger? Why did she want me to die? I can only think of a few reasons. ... My mind went blank, beads of sweat forming on my forehead. Her sudden attack caught me off guard. What should I do? We should save. Neck tackle or step back fast. So here's kind of the thing. This one, the screenshot I'm pretty sure for this one is like heavily in promotional material, so I've seen what this one is. Step back. Step back. Gotta dodge the dagger. No time to think, just retreat. But then, a problem. I slipped in my rush, wet ground by the lake. Unable to stand firm, my body suddenly lost balance, tilting backwards. Damn it! It's over. Cursed silently, and I fell backwards. Thump. Plunge. ... Two clear sounds, me hitting the ground and her dagger through my throat. I stared at her, my killer, little mute. She put all her strength into the dagger, splitting my throat. Couldn't see her face, but those gritted teeth told me she gave it her all. Must have used every ounce of strength to take me down. Blood gushed from my neck, tried to break free. But with my throat like this, it was useless. Little mute, why did she kill me? No answers. Death's grip spread, draining my strength and warmth. With questions unanswered, closed my eyes and embraced death. Ending. Died halfway. Well, we got an ending. I was curious because... Oh. Hello. Oh, all right. Look. Oh, okay. I didn't realize the prologue was... Okay, because it went really fast, I didn't realize the prologue was 4 years prior. Okay. Conclusion. Died halfway. Well. No. All right, back to this. Because here's the thing. The one for neck tackle, neck tackle, ... If an ordinary person, they might die from her surprise attack. But my years of dealing with dangerous situations kicked in. Oh yeah, no, ignore the fact that I died 2 seconds ago. Excuse me. ... I stayed calm. Faced with the dagger, I didn't try to block with my hands or hastily dodge. Yeah, who would hastily dodge? I quickly lowered my body, moved aside from the dagger, and then forcefully slammed into her. Thud. My charge threw her off balance, and her arm lifted. She missed the stab, the dagger pierced through the air. No, Piccolo. The answer was not dodge this time. Feeling a bit relieved, I pressed on, pouncing like a hungry wolf hunting a white rabbit, and shoved her into the reeds by the lake. Thump. ... I held her down, right leg on her belly, left leg on her arm. Right hand gripped her dagger hand, left hand squeezed her throat. Failed stab, dagger dropped. As she tried to snatch the knife back, I promptly pressed down on her hand. Now she was completely under my control, unable to move. What the hell? What are you up to? I glared at her, my eyes fierce like a wild wolf, growling at her with a low voice. Meanwhile, I pressed down even harder on her, pulling her arm with increased force, almost crushing her thin forearm. Well, not surprising, but those are the first noises coming from her. She couldn't bear it when I suddenly pinched her arm and pressed all my weight on her. In particular, her right hand was probably hurt by my knee, and the bone might be broken. Splat. The short dagger slipped from her hand and fell to the ground. Right after that, something really unexpected went down. Spare me. Okay, she can talk now. ... With teary eyes and a bit of redness, she begged me while crying. Little mute, she actually spoke. We're gonna have a conversation after the stabbing attempt. Oh, okay. Swine Demon, Chapter 3. Okay, well. She speak word now. Where are we picking this? Okay, we are still here. How come you're talking? ... Aren't you mute? I just stared at Little Mute, pinned beneath me, surprised. She actually talked. Tears in her eyes, face red, struggling for breath under my weight. Even so, a moment ago, she begged for mercy. Each word crystal clear. Did my scare make her suddenly able to speak? No, or she just could speak the whole time and just didn't want to or was too afraid to speak at the time. No way. Never heard of a mute being cured. This girl must have had some sinister plan from the start, faking being mute to catch others off guard. Spill it. Why the mute act? And why are you and where did you get that dagger? I demanded, eyeing the dagger that slipped from her hand.
Master Liang, you're squeezing the life out of me. I can't talk.
Okay, but you couldn't talk before, so, you know. She kept begging for mercy, ... I glanced at her, sighed. Grabbed the dagger she dropped. My left hand held her arm, the dagger against her neck in my right. I rose, eyes fixed on her, pulling her up from the ground.
Legs busted. Can't stand.
She got up, wobbling a bit, before finding her footing. Like a rookie deer learning to walk. Spill it, Brad. Why the mute act? Why the hell pretend to be mute? I kept my gaze fixed on her, each word sharp and deliberate. At the same time, I pressed the dagger closer to her neck. I was still steaming from her failed sneak attack. Oh yeah, failed. It absolutely didn't get me. This brat was definitely aiming to finish me off just now. What gave you that idea? If you didn't explain, I might actually cut her throat.
Spare me, I'll talk. ... I faked being mute to dodge Yin-san recognizing me. Yin-san is a trafficker, and I'm afraid he'd get too nosy, so I pulled the mute act.
What are you scared he'd figure out?
I aimed to off the swine demon. Couldn't risk his suspicions.
Swine demon. She looked down, and the mention of that term just made me more puzzled. What's a swine demon? Why is she bringing it up all of a sudden?
Master Liang, actually, Yin-san lied to you and Master Jing. You weren't sending us to fancy homes, but straight to the swine demon as lamb dishes.
Ah, so they're being sold as cannibal meat.
Sells off to you, Liu Yang. And we're on the menu for the swine demon. ...
She urgently spoke with a teary tone, and I was caught off guard. Adjusting myself on my chair. Ugh. Xing and I were taking those lambs to become lamb dishes. I knew the meaning of lamb dishes. It meant people meant to be eaten. Yep, yeah, that sums that up. I remember hearing that term for the first time when I was young, back in the peaceful era, and it gave me chills. But in recent years, there was a famine in Shaanxi Province. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Heard in some hard-hit areas, folks were selling kids for food. Some even sold concubines for cash. Dissecting them to dissecting them to hawk various organs. Sounds brutal, but it doesn't seem made up. Yeah, no, it definitely seems like something that would happen. The lambs I'm sending are actually gonna end up as swine demon's lamb dishes.
洛阳城里有一头豚妖，它重1000斤，生性好食人。
In Luoyang City, there's this swine demon weighing a ton, having a taste for human flesh.
它有1000年修为，能化身人形，在旁人看起来，他是洛阳最富贵的人，但他其实就是个无恶不作的大妖怪。
With 1,000 years of cultivation, it can take on a human form. To outsiders, it looks like the richest person in Luoyang, but it's actually a nasty
我们
monster.
全家住在洛阳附近，爹是个囤药种田的佃农。他有一次来我家看地时，看上了我姐姐，便和我爹说，想纳姐姐为妾。
Our whole family lives near Luoyang. Dad's a tenant farmer for the swine demon. One day, when it came to our place to check the land, it took a liking to my sister. Asked my dad to let my sister become its concubine.
爹爹怕他，便同意了。没多久后，姐姐便失踪了。
Dad feared it, so he gave in. Soon after, my sister vanished.
这之后，爹爹去问姐姐的情况，他们说姐姐偷东西跑了，找不到人了。
Dad went to ask about her, and they claimed she stole something and ran off. Couldn't track her down. ...
我不信姐姐会偷东西，整天哭闹，说是要见姐姐。
I can't believe my sister would steal. I cried every day, wanting to see my sister.
直到有一天，我梦到了姐姐。姐姐说她被豚妖吃了，希望我给她报仇。她还说，豚妖的口味越来越刁，以后不只要吃女人，还要吃小娃子。
Until one day I dreamt of her. She told me the swine demon devoured her and asked me to seek revenge. She said the swine demon's appetite is getting pickier. Not just women, but also little kids. ...
姐姐还跟我说，豚妖让化州的尹三做人牙子的活，给他送孩子吃，让我找机会给他报仇。
She told me the swine demon made a deal with Yinzan in Huazhou. He's rounding up kids to feed it. She urged me to find a chance for revenge. ...
I listened silently to her tale, pondering for a moment. Not very convincing. What she spoke about the lamb dishes is morally despicable, even for a bandit like me. And all of this planned by a swine demon with 1,000 years of cultivation. Her knowledge comes from her dreams her sister sent her. Certainly hard to buy into. You act mute. Let Yinzan take you, just to get close to the swine demon. I asked, ice in my voice. Little mute nodded. You think I believe your wild stories? Swine demon eating people, sister sending dreams? Spare me the ghostly nonsense. Don't get how a kid like you comes up with so many lies. If you really want to off the swine demon, why lay hands on me just now? If I die, who's gonna take you to meet the swine demon? How are you gonna avenge your sister? Ignoring the mystical talk about the swine demon eating people and her sister sending her dreams, as I spoke, I quickly spotted the holes in her story. While her tale could explain her choice to act mute and carry a dagger, it couldn't justify why she attacked me earlier. Her reasoning just didn't add up. If I died, who's gonna escort her to off the swine demon? Goodbye to the eyeballs, ... Sure enough, the little mute went silent, unable to answer my question. Head down, no more words. ... Wait, did I miss something? Seeing her go silent, my suspicion deepened, and I began questioning the truth behind her words. What now? Should I end her? End this lying kid? Or wake up Tongue and figure out how to handle her? I pondered, biting my lip, when suddenly I caught sight of tears like tiny beans rolling down her face, resembling a snapped string of pearls.
因为我很怕，太怕了。
Because I'm really scared. Too much scared.
只有 白天的时候不是说了吗？说如果我们不听话，会把我们活活生吃。我以为你们也是豚妖，越想越怕，刚刚都做噩梦了。
The Daymaster Jing warned us he'd skin us and devour us if we misbehaved. Thought you were swine demons too. Got really scared. Had nightmares just now.
Look, Yuki, I agree with what that wall of emotes is saying. Just keep it ready until we get to the actual swine demon.
方才我把刀藏在巨库里，梁爷看着我解手，脱下巨库肯定能看到刀。
I just hid the dagger in my skirt. If you hadn't turned away and saw me taking off the skirt, you'd definitely spot the dagger.
梁爷这次背过身去没看，但若是下次看了，你肯定会变成豚妖，把我给吃了。
I looked away this time, didn't catch a glimpse, but if you peek next time, you'll probably turn into a swine demon and gobble me up.
我怕了，不知道怎么做，心一横就想着要刺梁爷。
Scared, I don't know what to do. When my heart gets tough, I think about sticking it to you.
Okay. Blood boil. Look, Yuki, I have a strange feeling you're going to be at boiling point for most of this story. Don't you?
对不起，我再也不敢了。
Young master, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Little Mute wiped tears, crying on and off. While crying, she kept saying sorry to me. She cried, gasping for air, body shaking. She looked really scared, asking me to forgive her. ... But I still wanted to see. You got it right. If you've got a dagger, no matter what you say, I'll be suspicious. And you tried to stab me with that dagger. I'll kill you no matter... And you tried to stab me with that dagger. I'll kill you no matter what you say. I snarled quietly, seizing her dagger, lifting my hand, mimicking a move like I was about to stab her.
梁爷不要杀我，梁爷不能杀。
How far away are we that none of these screams are being heard by the rest?
Master Liang, don't kill me. You can't.
我再也不敢了，不敢了。
I won't do it again, I swear.
I'm going to kill.
饶我一命，梁爷。
How many exclamation marks was that?
给你赚钱，让你白吃白喝，给你受生死，做精神。
Spare me, Master Liang. I'll make you rich when I grow up. I'll be your provider. I'll build shrines for you. I'll make a golden statues for you.
Also, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4 exclamation points on I'm going to kill.
饶我吧。
Please spare me.
She shook in fear, legs giving way, crying with watery eyes and snotty face, talking nonsense. Terrified, she tried to flee, falling like a scared pig, kicking her legs while letting out a chill, non-stop wail. If I hadn't held her, she'd have hit the ground. The night was too dark to see clearly, but her terrified state suggested that she might wet herself if pushed any farther. Surprised she hasn't already. It made sense. Seeing her like this, I felt a bit at ease. She's been too mature before, and with her smooth talk earlier, it had me on edge. Now she genuinely seemed scared, showing the age-appropriate tears. Considering her clumsy dagger move, she didn't seem skilled. Unless I tripped just now, she couldn't have killed me. Man, imagine if that happened! After some thought, I eased up on my guard. At the same time, any thoughts of killing her vanished. ... Get up. I sheathed the dagger and pulled her to her feet. ... She glanced at me, fear lingering, surprised I spared her suddenly, still sobbing softly. I'll let you live this time. No killing for now. No killing for now. Don't kill again! No supernatural. Yeah, supernatural. Yeah, some sort of supernatural. Yeah, no, nothing like that happened. Yeah.
谢谢良爷，我就知道良爷不是妖怪，是好人。
Thanks, Mr. Young. You weren't some monster. You're a good guy.
I was about to. You know what? He's open. He literally stole the words from my mouth. He is literally engaged in human trafficking. The prologue had him murdering and hiding a body. I'm no good guy. Tonight we can't just act like nothing happened. ... I went cold-faced. After my words, little Mute, who had relaxed a bit after narrowly escaping, immediately stiffened her expression, freezing. Face away from me, I coldly commanded little Mute. She obeyed stiffly, turning her body around.
良爷，你要做什么？
I have a strange feeling this might be whipping.
Master Young, what are you planning?
You're getting a punishment.
怎么罚我？
How?
Take off your skirt and you'll see. One second, let me just, hold on, I need to set a thing real quick. Don't mind me. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Hold on. Nope, wrong one. God, which one is this? No. What? Hold on, need to check a thing. That. Nope, that's here. That is that. That is that. That is that. That one would be... Oh, right, it's that one. Okay. Don't mind me, and we're just gonna do this. Don't mind. I'm just doing a thing off to the here just to be safe on this. That. We'll do that one. Okay, so. And we can just quickly move back here. Okay. Huh. Just wanted to, just in case. And doink. ... Take it off, didn't you hear me? I barked at her, the sudden loudness causing her body to jolt.
我不想脱。
I don't want to undress.
If you don't, I'll kill you. Huh.
良爷到底要做什么？
Look, Yuki, I am in agreement.
What exactly are you up to, Master Leong?
Her voice quivered, filled with reluctance. ... I was confused, a sudden wave of irritation hitting me. Why was this girl being so difficult? I said I wouldn't harm her, and she won't even take a simple punishment. Is she trying to challenge me? With that in mind, I decided to go ahead and forcefully remove her skirt. Then she said something that left me stunned. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I think this was... Yeah, that'll be about the proper position. Sorry, I want to just have this saved properly. Slightly different.
Master Leong, you can't do something illegal.
Well, we're currently in the middle of human trafficking. I get what you're hinting at, I'm pretty sure, but we're in the middle of human trafficking.
弟弟跟我说过，法有规，监幼女12岁以下者斩决。
My father told me there are rules, and those who rape girls under 12 get executed.
我不满12，良爷要34，34。
I'm not even 12 yet, Master Leong. Please think twice, please. ...
I froze, and the attempt to remove her skirt came to a sudden halt. I didn't anticipate this girl having such ideas. I had her turn around to remove her skirt, intending to give her a spanking. I wanted to cut a piece... I wanted to cut a piece of the nearby reed and spank her bottom a few times, leaving 3 red marks to vent my anger. But I really didn't expect that this little troublemaker thought I was after something intimate. In that moment, my thoughts felt childlike, while she appeared mature. It gave me a strange sense of reversal, making my already irritated mood turn awkward, chaotic, and even more displeased. How should I handle this to teach her a lesson? You know what? Very glad at least he has that line in the sand for himself. I do just find this a little... Cut the chatter, just hit her, go along with the conversation. You know what, we'll just... I feel like going along with the conversation would scare her in the different... let's go with the conversation. We'll see where this goes. Is the lamb still hungry? Oh! Very likely. Just went with her story and gave her a little fright. Got to spin a tale to avoid awkwardness and maintained a bit of elder authority. Quite a laugh. You, a little girl, talking about rules with a bandit like me. I've been robbing and killing for years, avoiding official routes to transport you. Do you really think I'm a law-abiding person? ... Okay, you know what? We're just gonna... Yeah, we're just gonna load this data and go with the other option, because even that's a little too far. We're gonna rewind on that one. Cut the chatter, just hit her. Spank. Because we're not gonna go down that path. I did want to just see what it meant by go with the conversation. And, yeah, no. That we hit the turn back point. I don't want to explain anything to her. No more words. Just spank. I took the dagger she had used, sliced a section of thorny vines by the riverbank. As I made the cut, she flinched, eyes shut. Afterward, I measured the vine's length with my hands, assessing its thickness. Perfect. The thorny vine was perfect for spanking her.
Master Liang, what are you doing?
What to do, of course, it's for spanking your butt. Where did your mind wander off to just now? Time for a punishment, a solid one. Spanking with thorns. Oh, buddy, rewind approximately 10 minutes. The conversation was a lot worse. There's a reason she's oddly okay with this compared to what the alternative was.
Are you going to spank my butt? Well, go ahead. Just make it gentle, please.
Take off your skirt yourself, or should I do it?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Little Mute hurried forward, reached for the sides of the skirt swiftly used fingers to untie the knots and remove them. The dim light, coupled with tall reeds, obscured the details from my view. That can be... Genuinely, it is better than the other path that I... Look, I clicked on the other option again, because I was like, what does continue the conversation? Then I was like, oh, he's intimidating her with the threat of that. Okay, nope, we're leaving that path. And I heard the soft rustle of clothes hitting the ground and vaguely saw her exposed skin in the shadows. Well, it seems she did take off her skirt, revealing her bottom. ... Why did the voice actress read that line so close to the mic?
Master Liang, I've taken it off. ... He's up on spanking, okay? ...
I didn't bother talking more with her. Everything's set. It's time to get started. Raised my hand, lifted the thorny vine, and gave her bottom a firm smack. Smack! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark!
Why the direct hit?
Smack! Oh, God. Oh, this girl has been crying so much here.
I won't dare anymore, Miss Elaine. Dare not. Please, no more hitting.
Smack. You know, considering there was attempted murder. Considering there was attempted murder here, this, you know what, fair enough. Stinging too- Look, you complain about stinging too much. Can we go to the other timeline where you put that knife in my throat? She wiped her tear-stained face, pulled up her skirt, and retied the knots. I gave her 3 strikes. The child's skin is delicate, and she appeared frail, offering little resistance. To avoid causing harm to her muscles and affecting her ability to walk in the next few days, I restrained some force. Still, I was certain it would leave 3 red marks. Your life spared for now. I'll keep tonight's event a secret for you. If Tongue caught wind of it, he might devour you alive. I'll be watching you closely on this journey. If you try anything again, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Breaking my rule of sparing children. Where's the fire? On the way back, she limped, feeling the sting from the punishment. I lectured her from behind. At the same time, I asked her some questions. The more I think about it, the less you seem like a 9-year-old. How old are you exactly?
11岁，天启元年生人，属鸡。
11. Born in Wanli, 43. Year of the rabbit.
Oh. Oh, seeming small, like... Seeming small like them 9-year-old.
我吃的少，长得矮。
Eat less, so I'm short.
What's your name? ...
满岁。
Mansui.
She paused for a moment, then uttered 2 words. How do you spell it?
不会写，只知道岁是吃的那个岁。
Don't know how to write, just know Sui as in the wheat ear.
Your parents truly worked as tenant farmers?
真的，到洛阳城后，你可以去查。
Indeed. When we reach Luoyang City, you can verify.
What if these words are false?
若有假，我全家不得好死。
If I lie to you, my whole family will suffer. ...
I'll check your story as we travel. No need for oaths. I hate being lied to. If you lie to me, I'll kill you and your whole family. I warned her coldly. ... After hearing the threat of killing her whole family, she shivered and fell silent. She might be scared or tired, not saying a word. Just walking in silence, head down, paying no attention to me. ... Moonlight casts her shadow down as long as she moved through the mountains' woods. From behind, she appeared slender and solitary, akin to a lone young creature. Mansui. Sui, as in the wheat ear. I silently repeated her name, and suddenly vivid scenes flashed through my mind. This name echoed with the hope of a farming family. Like the wish for fields to be lush with golden wheat ears. ... Suddenly a series of scenes surged into my mind. It was as if I could see a vast wheat field. The endless field bathed in sunlight, wheat ears linked together like a golden lake. A strong wind stirred, creating ripples on the lake, forming waves. Her family held her hand, running amidst these waves. She laughed, falling into the golden sea, laughing joyfully. Home. Oh, okay, prologue. Backwards in time now.
I knew why Dad named me Mansui. Dad was a farmer with 15 acres of land to farm on. The entire 15 acres of land were planted with wheat. In spring, wheat is green, and come summer, it transforms into stunning golden color. And Dad would go harvest the wheat when summer was drawing to a close. Back then, I would trail behind Dad one step after another. Dad prayed for a good harvest every year and hoped that wheat would fill the entire field. So after I was born, he named me Mansui, and usually called me Little Sui. Little Sui.
小猫乖，小猫乖。
Good kitten, good kitten. I squatted down and gently stroked the kitten's chin. That is its head, not its chin. When I stroked its chin, it felt good and would raise its head, squint its eyes, and start purring. I couldn't help but chuckle at the sight of the kitten. Recently, a kitten had been regularly showing up at our doorstep. A stray kitten that no one knew where it came from found its way to our village one day. At first, it would wander around the village entrance, and Dad said that sooner or later it would be butchered and eaten. I couldn't stand the thought of that, so I kidnapped it and brought it home. I didn't keep it locked up on purpose and just let it roam around every day. However, since I had been regularly feeding it, it didn't usually stay too far from my home.
Stroke is stroke, yes. Pet. You touch the cat, you touch the cat. That is how that goes.
Over time, it became my
小
cat.
猫，你娘住哪呀？
Hey, little kitty, where does your mom live?
I stroked the cat's head and asked it. Oh, okay, no, she does understand the yeah, now she's doing it proper. I don't need to do the reading for the cat noises. Why did I do that instinctively? The cat meowed at me once. I didn't understand what it was saying, but my guess was that it had probably gotten separated from its mom and had been wandering for a very long time.
小猫，你最喜欢吃什么呢？
Kitty, what's your favorite food?
I tilted my head and asked it. The kitten meows again. I still didn't understand what it was saying.
我去给你找点吃的。
Let me go and find you something to eat.
Not understanding the language of cats, I smiled and gently patted the kitten's head. Then I walked over to a small clay pot next to the front door. Animal noises, cough, nothing that. Shush! Sometimes involuntary stuff happens, okay?
Not understanding the language of cats, I smiled and gently patted the kitten's head. Then I walked over to a small clay pot next to the front door. I reached into the pot and took out a small fish the size of my palm. I caught this in the river this morning.
来，给你吃。
Here, eat this. I gave the small fish to the kitten. Aw. The kitten joyfully snagged the fish with its two paws, licking it fervently with its tongue. And this is when I would take the opportunity to pet it. I put my hand on its back, slowly stroking its fur. It's very well behaved. It doesn't move no matter how I pet it.
哎，小帅儿，你怎么用小鱼儿来喂狸奴啊？太浪费了。
Hey, little sweet. Why did you give a small fish to the cat? It's such a waste.
这小鱼
That
是
is-
我在河边抓的，反正鱼太小，人吃不了，不如给小猫吃。
I caught the fish in the river. It's too small anyway. We can't eat it, so it's better to give it to the kitten.
哎，鱼小也都是肉，不如让你爹煮了，就这野菜给我们开开荤呢。
It's still edible even if it's small. Why don't we let your dad cook it and we'll have some fish with vegetables?
作孽呀！这年头这么苦，狸奴都比人吃得好。
Also, hello, Vecna. Oh, come on, it's pretty tough these days. Even cats eat better than humans.
咱家上下一年到头都吃不了几回肉，这熊孩子倒好，用鱼肉来喂狸。
Our entire family barely get to eat fish or meat more than a few times a year. And this naughty kid's actually using fish to feed the cat. I hear my grandma's non-stop complaints in my ears. I just realized the pouty face.
As Grandma grew older, her nagging also gradually increased. She complained to Mom the most, and then it's me. Mom recently took good care of Grandma. She never talked back when Grandma was nagging. Instead, she would bow her head, admit her fault, and adjust silently. I thought that was really smart. If you talked back to Grandma, she would just go on forever. And you'd wish you'd never done it. No, Sui. Stop playing around. Come help me out. While I was thinking about Mom, she suddenly called my
等一
name.
下，
Wait.
不能等，我在给你弟弟喂粥。
I can't wait. I'm feeding porridge to your brother.
帮什么忙呀？
What do you need help with?
洗菜。
Wash the vegetables.
好，我来了。
All right, I'm coming. I shouted to my mom inside the house.
小猫，小猫，我不能喂你了，你要自己吃干净哦。
Kitty, I can't hand feed you anymore. You have to finish everything, though, all right?
Oh, little waggy tail kitten.
I patted the kitten's head and tossed the fish onto the ground.
Cat noises.
The kitten obediently lifted its head and let out a meow as if it understood my words. Such a clever kitten. I sighed in admiration, silently, then turned around and went inside to help Mom. ... Mom was feeding porridge to my brother. I grabbed a bunch of wild vegetables piled in the corner of the room. The roots of the vegetables were covered in dirt, emitting an earthy scent. To prevent the house from becoming damp, we washed the vegetables outside. I carried the vegetable washing basket outside and started washing vegetables next to Grandma, who was sunbathing. She glances at me with her eyes half closed before dozing off again. Mom already taught me how to wash the vegetables. I scooped some water from the water tank and poured some into the vegetable washing basket, and then tossed the wild vegetables in. After soaking the vegetables for a while to remove the dirt, I changed the water and used my hands to scrub them. I wanted to clean the vegetables well so Mom would praise me for it. Would praise me for being responsible when she sees them later.
Vecna, stop. That is all I will say. ...
今天是5月初6，说来也巧，穗儿诞辰之时也是5月初6。
It's the 6th of May. Interesting, little Sui's birth date was also the 6th of May. Wait, what?
娘，姐姐几岁？
How old is Sui?
8岁了。
哎
她呀，再过几年就要嫁人喽。
Well, in a few years she's going to get married.
几年？
How many years is that?
怎么说也得6年。等她到了14岁，头发就可以竖起来，然后便可以嫁人了。
At least another 6 years when she turns 14, she can tie up her hair and then she can get married into another family.
Ah yes, 14, the prime marriage age for everyone.
啊，那我几岁嫁人？
Then at what age do I get married into another family?
胡话，你是男丁，不嫁人的。
Nonsense, you're a boy. You don't get married into another
你要
family.
给家里传宗接代，以后要考功名，娶媳妇儿。
You'll have to carry on the family line, make a name for yourself, and marry someone into the family. I was washing vegetables outside the house, and I could hear their conversation. He's my younger brother. He was 3 years old and just learned how to talk last year.
That's a boy. Look, very small. Okay, 3-year-old boy. Living in medieval Europe. Look, I'm not a historical study of average marriage age throughout history and different places. So, double check sources on this one, I'd say.
Ever since my brother was born, the most adored child of the family has become him instead of me. I felt jealous when my younger brother took away the love that used to be directed at me and the family. There were times when I really disliked him and times when I liked him.
Yeah, just history. Yeah, the history. Look, history in general, it's just like. I feel like even the lighter. Okay, let me just put it this way. And this also depends on where you live and what history you learn is the thing. Because it's like, even the history you learn, even the stuff you think, dang, that's messed up. It's like, even that barely can, sometimes there is infinitely more stuff that just is like, oh my lord, that go real dark and the stuff we came from. And how it was 12, not 11 in medieval Europe. Okay, medieval Europe average marriage age was 12. Well, also, one thing I'm gonna say is just, what was the average lifespan back then? Actually, hold on. What was the average lifespan of medieval Europe?
In the past year, I guess the liking part has been a bit more than the dislike. ...
Sir!
Don't you swear! Suddenly I heard a familiar voice, which made me immediately stop what I was doing and raise my head. Man was approaching from the farmland in the distance. He was dressed in burlap fabric and wearing a bamboo hat. He was tall and broad, and there was always a tender smile on his face. He's my dad, and my favorite family member.
Daddy!
Aw, Daddy!
Ran over right away and grabbed him by his thigh when I saw Dad.
孙儿乖，孙儿乖啊！
Good girl, little Slee. Dad stroked my head like how I stroked the kitten's head.
孙儿猜猜看，爹爹今天给你带了什么？
Take a guess. What did Daddy bring you
什么
today?
啊？
What is it?
I curiously leaned forward. Dad then took out the treasure he had hidden for a long time. It was a dark red thing with a weird shape like a wooden ball.
爹爹，这是什么呀？
What's this, Daddy?
听说啊，这叫番薯，海外传来的稀罕货，吃了能长寿。
I hear this is called sweet potato. It's a rare item from overseas. Eating it can lead to a long life. Well, if that's the case, I regret not liking sweet potatoes as
你
much.
怎么弄的？
How did you get it?
花了一点钱，跟村里的人买的。
I spent some coins and bought it from a townsman.
这2年光景不好，你还乱花钱。
It's been pretty rough these past couple of years, and yet you're still splurging.
没事儿，偶尔吃吃呗，多下点力气，种更多的地，钱不就回来了？
It's fine. It's not like we're having this every day. I'll work harder on the farms and make up for this in no time. Dad explained while smiling, and Mom didn't say anything after. Pretty sure that back then did not count poor families into life. Wait, pretty sure back then they did not count poor. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, if that's the life. Gee, if that's the high average of lifespan, Jesus. Also. Wait a minute, does that include, like, the era of the Black Death? Because that would cut average lifespan really far down. Well, man. I accidentally hit the censor button, don't worry about that. Don't mind the tiny beep you just heard. I put my hands on the potato, which was rough on the surface. It seemed like it had to be peeled first before eating.
爹爹，我要吃，
Dad, I want to eat it.
我也要吃。
Me too, little brother voice. I told Dad I wanted to eat the potato, and my brother also wriggled in Mom's arms, saying he wanted some too.
哎，什么稀罕玩意儿，我也要尝尝。
What's the big deal? I want some too. Even Grandma stumbled in from outside the house, saying she wanted some.
哎，好，等会儿我就烤了它。
Huh.
别急，你们都有份啊。
I told her, oh, that would also do. Okay. Is there a way to check average age of people who live past, like, who, if we're discounting the people who died within the first half year of existence, what is the average life then? Like, you gotta get over that first lump to be counted as a human. If you die before 6 months, you never actually were properly human, so, Ugh. Okay, I'll roast it in a bit. Be patient, you'll all get your share. Dad chuckled, stroking my head and shouting at us. I looked at my family in the house and felt blissful. I looked up toward the cloudless sky. I wanted to find a cloud that resembled me, but I couldn't. ... How will I be when I grow up? Who will I marry in the future? Besides getting married, what else will I do in the future? I have no clue about any of these. Huh. I only know that I have a wish. Yeah, no, okay. I genuinely wished, because there are some, I made the, obviously the joke of you're not a human unless you get past that unless you live past that first stage, but genuinely I would be curious, if you discount all the super early deaths, what would the average, what is the average person who's actually living decently, living beyond the first half year of your life? What is the average of that? I want to be with my family. Forever. And now we're back to the present where she is being trafficked. In the early morning, a light mist covered the mountains and forest. The sun broke through the haze, shining on our campsite. The birds were already up at this hour, chirping without fatigue, as if signaling the lambs that it's time to get up. Throughout the night, I remained vigilant to observe the surroundings. I held onto my dagger, leaning against a tree, awaiting the break of dawn. Mansui's mindset was surprisingly good. Despite the events of last night, it didn't seem to bother her sleep. You'll play it? I mean, I do recommend. Look, I'm gonna put it this way: whenever I do visual novel stuff, I never intend, unless it's a relatively quick one or a free one, I don't intend ever on doing all options. Again, unless it's either free or relatively short. So if interested, I do recommend doing them. So pay. It is $10, which, given from the time that I've seen people put into it, genuinely, that is quite fair price from what I have seen of it. Especially it is. I've been watching it since it came out, and it's just amazing to just see the whatchamacallit, the review amount and the overwhelmingly positive reviews come in for that, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I finally got around to this. Didn't bother sleep. Once at the campsite. Yep, nope, we'll do that one. Campsite. She soon drifted off, her delicate snores blending with the nighttime chorus of insects. Perhaps my playful spanking last night left her bottom too sore to lie down, so she chose to sleep on her stomach. With arms crossed on the ground, she nestled her head between them, half dozing with her backside in the air. Well, that looked even more like a cat. ... After observing Mansui for a while, I took a brief glance at the other lambs and tongue. Midway through, I took a short nap, attempting to sleep with my eyes open. Tried to sleep with my eyes open several times over the years, but it never seemed to work. After a couple of hours of restlessness, I witnessed the sun rise from the mountain peaks as dawn arrived and the lambs woke up. I'm glad you enjoy the member emotes.
起来，都起来，我们要继续赶路了啊！
It had been a while without seeing Tongue. Get up, wake up, everyone, it's time to hit the road again. Tongue, freshly awake, promptly urged the lambs to get up. He paced, shouted, and tapped his dagger on the tree next to the lambs, occasionally poking them. The lambs rubbed their eyes, sat up, and then stood up one by one. After everyone woke up, we hit the road. The sun was in the east, and we walked toward it. After an hour of walking, a lamb suddenly called me.
良爷，有事？
Master Liang, something's up.
Hong called out to me. What's up? Need to potty again?
不是，是肚子饿，我没肚子饿，我也饿了。
No, we're hungry. My sister's hungry and so am I.
Oh, I'll go get some grub. Never. They hit the road. Never heard that saying. Really? You've never heard that saying? Interesting. hit the road. Just get on with it, or get on with the trip, pretty much. Yeah, well, first time for everything, I guess, including hearing certain sayings.
海良，等等，
Young, wait.
I headed for the saddlebags, and at the moment, Tongue stopped me.
干嘛顺着这小羊？它饿就饿去呗。
Why follow the lamb? Let her be if she's hungry.
我们不是定好规矩了，每天只有正午和黄昏发粮，这样便于管那些小羊，也不会误了时辰。
We agree on a schedule, right? Grub is given out only at noon and dusk daily. Helps manage the lambs without missing the appointed times.
Okay. I nodded and pulled back my hand from reaching for the grub. God, this main character is very much just do whatever anyone around him is telling him. Tongue was right. Rules bring order. Also, fetching grub every time a lamb is hungry would disrupt the grub plan and prevent them from realizing their disadvantaged situation. Hang in there a bit longer. I'll distribute grubs at noon. I walked over Hunger and relayed my message. Their faces showed a hint of disappointment. A quick glance, no more words, just kept moving forward. ... We kept on the mountain path, moving slow for the lambs. Climbed up a bit, then went down another stretch. Past experience suggested we just crossed the Shaohua Mountain in Hua Mountain's territory. Dense trees, limited visibility. I couldn't spot Hua Mountain's peak. At noon, everyone was a bit hungry, and the lambs were showing signs of fatigue. We decided to take a short break, grab some food.
妈呀
Oops.
良，快过来！
Damn. Leon, hurry.
Wait, what? But right at that moment, something unexpected happened. Man, I really missed that! Tongue, at the front of the line, suddenly yelled. He saw something in the woods, a surprised look on his face. Heard of tigers? Corner like, something jump scared me. It's so I don't cover any of the text. Also, hello, Callie, how do? He waved me over in the corner. I was puzzled. I cautiously moved forward, hand on the dagger at my waist. Was it a herd of tigers? ... A corpse. Oh, a corpse. You have been here for a while, good... seemingly, sir. Clearing away the branches, we came to view was a lifeless body. Leaning against a tree, probably a man. How is it me and this main character have the same thoughts? Me and this character have the exact same thoughts half the time. The reason I said probably was that he had been dead for days, making it hard to distinguish his features. Okay, I was exactly in the same way. You want to sleep? You know what? Just sleep about as good as this guy here on screen. Trees wrapped in white bones, bones that fused with flesh, flesh clinging to cloth, all bound together. Wearing a cloth towel where his head... Wearing a cloth towel on the head, dressed in a ragged robe, hair unkempt. Is it really fair to say unkempt if you've been dead for a few days? I'll at least say the adios for you. Face mostly hidden in the shadow of his hair, but glimpses of bloody hole peeked through the strands. Countless ants crawled over his mangled body, flies buzzing around. So, look, I said the adios there. They darted in and out of his flesh, feasting on the man's corpse. Less for it openly outing yourself as looking worse than a corpse. I was curious why the body didn't stink when I noticed the insects. The foul odor hit my nose, carried by the wind. Gross. Yeah, no, that's a way to say that. Suddenly, the disgusting smell of the corpse hit me, filling my lungs and making my stomach churn. Xianghua apparently notices that. Xianghua, who came with us, got a big scare when she saw the corpse.
别叫！
Shh! Don't yell!
Tongue gave Xianghua a fierce look. Oh, God. Yeah, itchy face, why? Oh, God, looking at corpses makes my face itchy. Xianghua quickly stepped back in fear. Understandable, child looking at a corpse. Hongar also noticed the corpse. Didn't stare, just rushed back to Shuir from seeing. Monsui got a bit jittery seeing the corpse, but compared to the other girl, she held up well. She kept staring at the body, looking kinda spaced out. Deadly injuries on the neck. I cannot see the neck right now. I held my nose and leaned in to check on the body. The man had a neat cut on his neck. Even though the blood had dried, it was clear that this cut ended his life. Dead for over 10 days. Definitely not an animal's doing. Someone killed him. Corpse is in good shape. No big beast could have... No big beasts have come to eat it.
那看来，坏消息是附近有盗匪，好消息是附近没有野兽。
Well, looks like bad news. Bandits around. Good news. No wild beasts nearby. Might not be bandits. Could be someone from their group who did it. This route, not an official road, but we've been through it before. Hardly ever ran into bandits. Nowadays, travelers killing each other isn't uncommon. I shared my suspicions, stealing a glance at Monsui behind me. Indeed, had I been less cautious last night, I might have been found sprawled by the lake. My throat at her mercy. Oh yeah, no, that definitely is a thing that absolutely could have happened, but absolutely did not happen. Traveler versus traveler. Yeah, pretty much. You are now food for the crows. A fortnight later, my remains would be a feast for insects, discovered amidst horrified screams. With that in mind, I felt the urge to give her a stern lesson. That night.
呀，看看他身上还有什么东西。
Liang, check if there's anything else on him. All right. Enduring the odor, Tung and I decided to scavenge the corpse. This was our custom. In the forest, we resembled wolves every time. Wolves would bite down on prey worth biting, and they'd gnaw on leftover remains.
妈的，什么都没有，早被扒空了，看来真是盗匪杀的。
Damn, empty-handed, completely looted. Seems like the work of bandit killers. Not empty-handed, at least found this. I presented Tung with a unique find, quotations. Despite finding nothing on the man, we came across a wooden box nearby. Oh, that box was significant, I noticed. Ugh. The box was of a rich dark wood, its material beyond my understanding. About 3 feet in length, it housed a donkey hide, 2 stands, 3 differently sized pens, and knives, 4 pre-cut figures, and a cluster of dye bottles. I knew these things. The wooden box contained items for a shadow play.
这是啥？
What's this? Used for shadow play performances.
影子戏，看来这男的是戏子。
Shadow play? Seems like this guy was a performer. Not always. Some resort to shadow play as a means of making a living. I casually told Tung as I spoke. I began packing up the man's wooden box, intending to stow it in our
喂
belongings.
梁，你想捡这破烂？这东西连盗匪都不要，你捡到城里能卖几个钱？
Oh, sorry for the yawn. Hey, Liang, you plan to pick up this trash? Not even bandits would bother with it. How much could you get for it in town? I just want it.
那你得把这东西和放干粮的地方弄远点儿，不然有味儿。
You've got to place this stuff farther from the area where we keep the grub or it'll have a smell. Good thing this box was already far from the corpse. Saying that, I wedged the wooden box into the gap in the stuff on the pack horse.
妈的，本来就没胃口，给你搞得更没胃口了。
Damn it. I already had no appetite, now it's even worse. ... We missed lunch by 2 hours. Finding a dead body tended to ruin everyone's appetite. During this time, Xianghua and Hong'er struggled with nausea, likely disturbed by the memory of the corpse. They held back, not wanting to lose precious food. Vomiting would mean one less meal, and it might draw attention, risking a scolding from us. 2 hours later, Tung and I handed out the grub to the lambs. I took a short nap at noon, and Tung took the lambs for a bathroom break. Then he also rested for a bit while keeping watch. In the afternoon, we walked along We walked along a long. Sorry, that string of words is just tricky to read. We walked along a long stretch of mountainous trail. It got tougher with parts of the path untouched for a while. We pushed through the weeds, and sometimes I had to use a dagger to cut through the thorns blocking the way. Shuanghua's legs got a bit shaky during this, and there was a moment when she slipped into a mountain ditch. Luckily, she had a rope tied around her waist, and we swiftly pulled her back up. After getting pulled up, she was still shaken. Tongue mocked with a few mean comments. But Mansui approached, took her hand, and gave her comfort. I was gonna say confidence, not comfort. Shivering and teary-eyed, Shuanghua slowly calmed down in Mansui's silent comfort. Along a long trail going along a long river. Ferd, you make me hate. You just make me hate. That's all I will say. Just with the way those words are. Comfort. Mansui took care of things for us. Tongue and I weren't going to coddle the sensitive lamb. Even Tongue had to admit, well, this mute man is the most worry-free. As Tongue said that, I glanced at Mansui. Oh, yes, hello, Vecna. At that moment, she raised her eyes and looked at me with a hint of satisfaction, as if to say, see, I fooled him. Her look made me want to punch her. Not the feeling I get when I go there. Say Julia, I hate you. Look, you double the thing that already caused my headache pain. I knew she was faking being mute, lied about her age, and was the trickiest and most dangerous troublemaker. But to keep her alive, I kept it to myself, not telling Tongue any of it. Wait, Vecna, why are you sorry? Come to think of it, why am I even bothering to keep this girl alive? Why did I cover up what happened last night from Tongue? We may not be best buddies, but after all we had been through together. Why was I reluctant to spill the beans to Tongue? ... I didn't know. Every time I wanted to spill the beans to Tongue, I felt this tightness in my chest, making me choose to keep covering for her. Okay. Good for you for apologizing for that. Good. It was just frustrating. ... At night, the lambs had another meal of rations and water. After eating, Tongue and I had to get the fire going and arrange the beds.
娘，我们把那个小哑巴的绳子给解了吧。
Young, let's untie the rope on little mute.
Why?
影三儿本来就说他听话，不用绑。我开始不信，但现在也觉得这小羊乖啊，不绑也行啊。
Yin-san said she's obedient, no need to tie her up. I didn't believe it at first, but now I think this lamb is well behaved. We can leave her untied.
给他解了绑，可以多一个人给我们拾些树枝，让我们每天快点生火和铺床啊。
Untie her. Having the extra hand together twigs will speed up our daily tasks.
Can't trust this girl. Why? Because I saw what you were spelling, and I didn't want to let you continue that. I shot a cold look at Mansui and said to Tongue,
你什么时候比我都警惕了啊？放心，一只小羊搞不出什么大动静，在这山里，它想逃也逃不了啊。
When did you get more suspicious than me? Relax. A lamb can't stir up much trouble. In these mountains, she can't even run if she wants to.
Fine. Just untie her at this time every day. I agreed with Tongue and went up to untie Mansui. While doing so, I kept a close eye on her. Of course, I didn't fully trust her. She drew a dagger on you and ran at you. Of course you're not going to trust her. Even though I had taken away her small dagger and searched her thoroughly to make sure she had no hidden weapons, if she found a chance to grab a sharp stone and attack our necks or poke my eyes, it would be pretty dangerous. Go, get us some firewood. I untied the rope from her waist and gave her a stern order. ... She didn't dare to defy, nodded, and went off to collect some firewood. ... Tonight, Tongue would sleep first, and then it would be my turn. ... I've got a couple of hours to spare, so might as well make the most of it. In the next few days, staring at the lamb's sleeping position wouldn't reveal much, so I needed to find something else to do. I took out the wooden box from my stuff and put it on the grass. It contained items for shadow play, and I went through each one. Sometimes I sniffed them to make sure there was no stench from the corpse. No, not particularly at the moment. Thank you for offer, though. Luckily, the box had only a slight smell, and everything inside was clean. I took a deep breath and laid out the donkey hide from the box in front of the campfire. The donkey skin was thin and was specially polished. I unfolded the donkey skin, spreading it out in front of the campfire by holding the two corners. The campfire's light, upon touching the donkey's skin, spread softly, creating a gentle glow covering its surface. Oh? I remembered this donkey hide was called a white curtain. In shadow play, performers set up the white curtain with wooden frame and light it up with lamps. One moment. Yeah. Don't mind me, I'm grabbing a thing real quick. Yeah. One moment, doing a thing. Yes, no, we're going for shadow play time. Yeah. Then the performers can control the puppets behind the white curtain. Now the challenge was, how did I use this frame? No, I said I'm good on the cheese, but thank you for the offer. No, I said I am good on the cheese. I do not want any at the moment, but I thank you for the offer. How did I use 2 sticks to support the white curtain? Oh. Hi, Mansui. You kind of jump scared me.
Mr. Liang, it's not done like that.
Just as I picked up 2 sticks, unsure of how to set up the white curtain, I heard a voice beside me. Mansui spoke to me in a hushed tone. ... I glanced at her and took a quick look at the others around. Tongue had... Tongue had her head tilted back, eyes shut, and the rest of the kids were scattered on the ground. Sound like a tipped-over basket of radishes. I think that might just be... Yeah, Tongue had his head tilted back, eyes shut, and the rest of the kids were scattered on the ground like a tripped-over basket of radishes. Okay. They were all asleep with steady breathing. No wonder she dared to speak up. Know how to do it? I asked Mansui. She nodded, ready to come over and help. However, as she took the first step, the rope wasn't long enough. Oh, she has the rope back on. She looked at the rope around her waist, then glanced at me with a pleading look. She looked at me and I looked back at her. Okay, I'll undo it for you. No tricks. I walked over and untied the rope around her waist from behind. They're still asleep, so let's not wake them up. We'll find another spot, carry the stuff there, and light a new fire to figure this out. Oh, new fire. No more spank. The spank was the punishment for the attempted murder. And she seems to be a bit better behaved now. Seems. Still don't fully trust, but it's better. I glanced at the sleeping group and whispered the plan to Mansui. She nodded in agreement. Oops. I took the box and went with Mansui to a cliff not far off. I had a good view of the camp, hidden from the others. I told Mansui to gather some fresh wood, and I went back to the campfire for a flame. I got some burning wood from the campfire and went back to the cliff. I threw the flame onto the new wood pile. Monshui. Interesting. I'm presuming there are slight variants in the names I've noticed every so often, but... And Monsui and I watched as the new fire slowly lit up, brightening the cliff's surroundings. How did you learn to do this?
爷爷就是弄影子戏的，
Hmm?
爹爹也学过，也教过我。
My grandpa used to perform shadow plays, and my dad learned and taught me too.
一次，家里的粮快吃完了要换钱，爹爹带着我去隔壁的村里演过戏，还赚了不少利。
Once, when our family was running out of food and needed money, my dad took me to the neighboring village and put on a show, and we earned quite a bit.
Thank you, Vecna, for the voice compliment. How much do you know?
基本都会一点。
I know the basics.
Monsui told me. Taking the frame and white curtain from my hands. She threaded the frame through the small hole next to the white curtain. Her wrists thinner than the frame, weaving back and forth, slowly fitting the frame onto the white curtain. I'm doing the voice specifically for her reading, so yeah. If another context comes that I will need to use it in, then I will use it there. 1 second. Okay, stretching a little bit.
良叶，指甲不够高，少了2根，得找些树枝和绑树枝的细绳。
Master Liang, the frame's not tall enough, missing 2 pieces. We need to find branches and thin ropes to tie them.
She got stuck halfway, seemed to face a problem. You go find some.
可我不知道细绳在哪儿。
I don't know where thin rope is.
Vecna, I do not know what Vecna sound like. Alright, I'll go. I got up and went to fetch what she needed. 1 second. I went back to camp, grabbed 2 thin ropes from our stuff, and picked up some twigs. Returning to the cliff where Monsui and I were, I handed her the items. She is still here. Insert mega... No thin rope. She started tying the support frame and small twigs with the ropes, then threaded the small twigs through the white curtain. In no time, she had set up the white curtain in front of the campfire. But I mean, I still don't know what he sounds like. I've never heard... Oh, no, wait, actually, no. I have a very slight reference, because apparently there's a VR Stranger Things game where you play as Vecna, and I watched the trailer for that because I just was in my Oculus... Like, I have an Oculus/Meta Quest 2 that I was just in, and I saw that advertised, and it's like, oh, there's a game where you play as Vecna. Huh. No time, she had set up the white curtain in front of the campfire.
良叶，为什么要把白幕搭起来？
Master Liang, why did you set up the white curtain?
After finishing the setup, Monsui curiously asked me. Just bored, I replied casually.
良叶想让我教你影子戏吗？
Master Liang, want to learn a shadow play from me? ...
Sure. Teach me if you know. I'm bored anyway.
好呀，我也正想帮到良叶。之前惹了你生气，正好想做些什么来赔罪。
Sure, Master Liang. I want to help and make up for making you mad before.
Monsui continued checking the white curtain, smiling as she spoke. This little girl knew how to talk. But it's not just about making me mad. She wanted my life. Yeah, no, there's a point. Oh my god. Damn it. I saw something and I thought it was my spider friend. I got that all in
良叶
mind.，
白幕搭好了，可是还少一些东西。
Master Liang, the white curtain is ready, but we're missing some things.
What's missing?
少了乐器，影子戏一般是2个人演，一人操影，另一人伴奏。这2人中有一人还得唱。
We need instruments. In shadow play, 2 people are usually involved, one manipulating shadows and the other playing music and singing.
Alright, when we get to the city, I'll get a musical instrument. For now, see if you can handle the shadows and give me a little
没有
show.
伴奏唱不出来，而且我也不会唱。
Can't sing without music, and I don't know how to sing either.
Didn't you say you know all the basics?
我就是不会唱啊，词儿我倒是记得，但肯定唱不好。
I'm not good at singing. I remember the words, but I can't sing
以
well.
前的时候都是爹爹在唱，我要么操引，要么奏锣鼓。
In the past, my dad always did the singing. I either controlled the shadows or played the drums.
Alright, go ahead and perform a shadow play. I want to see.
好，我先试试看小人有没有问题。
Alright, let me see if the puppet is working. Ugh.
I can neither remember words nor sing well. Yeah. She nodded and went behind the white curtain to tinker with the puppet. I noticed she needed a seat, so I fetched the wooden box for her. She didn't sit fully on the box, maybe out of habit for shadow play performers, or because her bottom still hurt, making it hard for her to sit properly. ... I got up and went to her side, watching carefully. The puppet had a body attached to 2 bamboo sticks. She moved the sticks behind the white curtain with her fingers. The puppets wore red armor, looked sturdy, and held a long spear-like weapon while riding a bright red horse. I recognized this puppet. Was it the character from 3 Kingdoms? Okay, okay, what was the puppet wore red armor, looked sturdy, long spear. Okay. Sturdy, long spear-like weapon while riding bright red horse. Very genuinely, Guan Yu is the only one is the one of these 2 names that I recognize, and I'm just gonna go with it. Is this Guan Yu? I looked at the puppet in Mansui's hand and asked.
不是，这是吕
Lubu.
凤仙。
Guan Yu is the wood.
关公是木箱里的那个
Okay,
小
Guan
人。
Yu is in the. What's the other option? Hold on. I actually wanted to check. Yeah, Lubu. Okay, no, yeah, I'm committing to my wrong answer. I don't know Chinese history, and Guan Yu was the only name that I
不是
recognized.
这是吕凤仙，关公是木箱里的那个小人。刘玄德、关云长、张翼德，还有吕凤仙，这些都是表演3英战吕布用的小人。
Yuebe, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Lubu. These are all puppets used for the 3 Heroes Battle Lubu performance. Mansui pointed to the 3 puppets in the wooden box that hadn't been strung together yet. After she said that, I managed to recognize all the puppets. The black-faced one with a spear is Zhang Fei. The red-faced one with a broadsword is Guan Yu. The yellow-faced one with 2 swords is Liu Bei. The one Mansui is holding, riding a red horse and wielding a halberd, is the superhero Lubu. This girl knew quite a lot. She even figured out that these are puppets for the performance of 3 Heroes Battle Lubu before I did. Why does Lubu have a horse in shadow play? So I'm laughing a little bit because you can see his hands are just like, I don't know why I find that funny.
不知道，可能这样会显得吕凤仙厉害一些。
No idea. Makes Lubu seem tougher.
This puppet isn't well made. Wait, oh. This puppet isn't well made. If I do it, I'll give all of them
我
horses.
可以教梁爷做，但是木箱里没材料了。
I can teach you, but there are no materials in the wooden box.
I opened the wooden box and saw that the dye bottles inside had dried up. We might need to add water to use them. Even if we had dye, there were no spare materials to make significant changes to the puppets. Perhaps the die in the box was originally meant for touch-ups, and carving knife has become... I lost my words there. Perhaps the die in the box was originally meant for touch-ups, and the carving knife has become useless due to lack of materials. As I thought about it, how did that body really end up dead today? Did he venture into Hua Mountain alone? Or with others? Was he one of the shadow puppet performers, and were there more people with him? Could he have escaped from the theater group only to be chased down and killed? Numerous questions and speculations raced through the mind. However, there wasn't enough information at the scene for me to form a clear judgment. I might never uncover the true story. ... Alright, never mind. Didn't want to think about it too much. Time was short, so I had Mansui perform for me first. You perform. I ordered Mansui.
好，那梁爷坐到白幕前吧。
Once I adjusting myself in the seat.
All right, Master Liang, take a seat in front of the white curtain.
Mansui said to me. I nodded, stood up, and went to sit in front of the white curtain. I need to wet my mouth and throat for sake of being able to continue reading. Oh, that nice. Sitting down, I looked up at the white curtain. Mansui also sat on the wooden box I had just moved, positioned behind the white curtain in the center. She wiggled her fingers, and behind the white curtain, the puppet of Zhang Fei appeared. First, the puppet shook a couple of times, wielding the serpent spear in its hands. To my surprise, not long after, Mansui took a deep breath and softly began to sing. I'm not going to... Whoops. I'm not going to attempt to do the singing follow-up of that, but I will at least read it.
White robe with a plain headscarf, serpent spear gripped firmly in hand.
Oops. ... She said she wouldn't sing, but as she performed, she thought shadow play without sound wasn't as good. To find her rhythm, she started humming softly. The voice was low, like singing to herself, and the tone wasn't professional. She was probably remembering how her father used to perform for her, imitating and singing along.
Now facing Lubu in battle, no way that scoundrel escapes me, Zhang Fei's hands. Urging the horse towards the two armies, challenging those bandits to fight.
Mansui kept singing in hushed tone while Zhang Fei brandished his serpent spear, shouting on the battlefield, ready for imminent appearance of Lubu. The puppet's shadows swayed behind the blurred white curtain, seemingly alive. The serpent spear twirled and a bright beam erupted from its tip, dazzling my eyes. White! ... What? The scene played out again in front of me. Back then, my dad and I were also enjoying a shadow play. Oh, childhood. The lamp flickered, drums and gongs echoed, and the heroes of the story clashed behind the white curtain. Sun Wukong swung his golden staff, hitting the white-boned demon. The staff lit up with a golden glow as it struck the monster's head. Just as I was cheering for the performance, the spark suddenly grew stronger and turned into a bright light. In an instant, the intense light burst from the white curtain, accompanied by a loud boom. swallowing the entire world, exploded. With a thunderous sound, everything was consumed by the intense light. All I could see was turned into a fiery ball. I shouted, jolting up from where I sat.
梁爷，怎么了？
Master Liang, what happened?
I can't watch. Shouldn't watch. I got up, confused, my hands and feet unsure, eyes wide open. Also, hi, Shadow. How you doing? I looked down, palms facing up, lifting both hands in front of my chest aimlessly. Sweat covered my face and back. My heart raced, and my trembling hands couldn't stop shaking. I quickly scanned the surroundings, then stared blankly ahead, unable to concentrate. I repeatedly confirmed that I was in a dark environment, safe from the imaginary burst of intense light. ... I thought I could gaze at the flames again after many, many years. Thought I could watch shadow plays once more. Now it seems I still can't. ... I came to my senses and found Mansui looking at me with a worried expression, trying to figure out what had come over me. I'm fine. Just not up for it today. Can't watch shadow plays anymore. Let's head back to camp. Don't want anyone getting suspicious about our absence. I gestured awkwardly to Mansui and muttered some explanation to her. Then I dared not glance at the white curtain behind the flames. I put out the campfire, turned around, and stumbled back toward our original camp, paying no attention to whether the wooden box was neatly arranged or not. ... Even now, I kept avoiding it. Over the years, I thought I had changed, grown stronger, shifted from a lamb to a wolf, free from fear. Yet I still couldn't shake off the nightmares of that year. ... The 6th year of Tianqi. I stayed in the capital with my father and a traveling merchant for a few days. On the 6th day of May, which is also Mansui's birthday, if I'm not mistaken, at the hour of snake, white light consumed everything. When I came to my senses, there was only a sky filled with bloody rain and shattered corpses. For many years afterward, I could never escape the nightmare of that day. And even now. Chapter 5. You know what? I'm going to save there because I think that would be a decent little wrap-up point. For now. Because I'm not going to lie, the stream went on a little bit longer than I thought it. Actually, I didn't really have much of an estimation for the stream's time frame, but I feel like that is a good little wrapping point at the end of Chapter 5. There we go. Return the title. Yeah, I did just save. So, how? Okay, so those were both there that I got both of those. Okay, so there's not much branching. There is not much branching yet. Actually, there's kind of just one main... Okay, oh, okay, here's where you get, like, 2 main paths, but they reconverge. Okay. Oh, choose a specific option on Liang Chapter 5. Oh, okay. I presume that there was a specific option here to get that. Okay. Actually, 14... We have been going for 3 hours, and I am 14% complete. Well... I did find this... Ugh. Oh, sorry, had to good stretch. Ugh. Visual novels are always an interesting experience, I feel. Just, you never know exactly what you're gonna get. I knew this one would get quite dark on some of its theming. Just because of... Actually, hold on. I'm going to, real quick, read the mature content description from Steam for this one. Game includes some adult content elements. Combat weapon imagery, bones, bodies, derogatory language, excruciating pain, criminal behavior, bleeding, violent behavior, accidental death, bodily injury, corpses, violent depictions, suicide, including partial nudity. We'll have to see what when we get there. Depiction of sexual violence. We toned into that one a little bit. And alcohol consumption. Why end with alcohol consumption? But yeah, so this will be an interesting one to go through on the channel. I am enjoying it. It's definitely interesting. But for now, wait, why bad to the bone.mp3? But for now, the journey pauses. So, without further ado, I do thank everyone who came. Just hope people enjoyed the reading that I do of these. And yeah, not much else to say other than that. I just thank everyone who came, old new. Just hope people enjoyed. And as always, bye.